past hour, actually the past 2 hours, the preview to the In Wheel Time weekly car show, the live version, here on the Interneto, because it's been a clown show, is what it's been. Because we've been on the road last week, and so. And this is part of the reason that we do this little preview thing. So Conrad could turn his telephone down.
The function key.
ONOFF.
There you go. Is there anything else?
I'm just checking to make sure we have sound on Facebook.
Is that what you're doing?
Every week.
You're such a liar. Oh, my God.
And we did.
We did, yes, we did, because I could hear it over here. Mm-hmm. And next thing, the phone is going to ring. That'll be the next thing.
And that's why
Conrad, could you come over and cut my grass today?
Yeah, no kidding.
No.
Well, it's okay. My day started off great in a huge panic.
Well, that's the phone. That's my phone.
I know. In a huge panic because I got up and this is my folder that has all of this week's show stuff in it, right? And so I pulled that out of the briefcase, and then I'm thinking, okay, well, where's my laptop? I left the laptop at work. So at 5:30 this morning,
dun, dun, dun.
I make a trek all the way over to Hobby Airport.
From Sugarland.
And back. Did it in an hour. Yeah, baby. But I thought, did somebody steal my laptop? Did I leave it at work? What happened?
You just brain faded.
It was bad.
Well, hi, George. Glad to see you out there. And, yes, remember the Alamo. How can you forget?
And we're going to have a special around-the-world guest today. She'll be coming to us from Italy. And we have that to look forward to in the show, which is about 2 minutes away. So we invite you to stay tuned for that. Mr. Mars, what are you doing over there?
I am sharing some Facebook stuff about what you just said. I checked YouTube. We have sound on YouTube. We have sound on Facebook. We're good to go. We are rocking and rolling.
You're such a liar.
See, when
I did. I just showed you.
Did you? Okay. All right.
When I check the sound, everybody hears it.
Yeah,
that's right. Right.
Mars checks the sound quietly.
We have the Sue's visiting here with us today.
Yeah, she's snuggling up right there. She's nesting.
We're nesting there. So it's all good. Life is good here in Southeast Texas. I think that the lawnmower man next door that started, well, it sounds as if that he may be.
Did you go out and yell at him?
I should. 'Cause, people do sleep in on Saturday mornings.
Where?
This guy has no mufflers left on any of his lawn equipment out there.
But it's not cold out anymore. You don't need
but it
mufflers.
Not those kind of mufflers. And it's just loud. It's loud in here, and this is allegedly a kind of a soundproof studio. So enough for me to go out and chew him out. Hey, buddy.
Again.
I've never chewed him out. I wouldn't do that. Man's trying to make a living.
Yeah, we like the dog too, Kyle.
Yes, that's the Sue's.
That's Don's beagle.
Yes, she's been with me for 10 years, and
she's in charge.
She is in charge. She rode with me over to the airport this morning, and I'm sure she's wore out, so we're looking for a major nap to happen any moment.
I think
she was the radar detector.
She was. She doesn't do that.
But that's kind of a beagle thing, isn't it?
It is, but she doesn't.
More of a bloodhound.
I've heard her do it, but it's not very often.
That's a bloodhound sound of what you did.
No. I'm glad I can get specific to the breed of dog.
We had a really good time last week.
I thought Lone Star Throwdown was great.
Yeah, we did.
I was tired.
I was real happy. Lonnie sat with us for the whole show.
I know. It was unusual, but it was good.
Well, I kept telling him he could leave if he needed to.
I don't think he wanted to.
And he kept looking at his phone. He's going to let Todd handle it.
Well, I mean, they've been doing this for 10 years. They got it down pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I think some of it, too, is a little less stressful for him to sit with us because he had a reason to, as opposed to bouncing around, putting out small little fires everywhere all day long.
Yeah, but
what a great show.
After he left the show, he got busy because we saw him on his car.
He was answering a lot of texts.
He was doing his thing, yeah.
But it was really fun.
Yeah. So if you missed the show last week, we were up in Conroe at the 10th annual Lone Star Throwdown, a humongous truck show.
Incredible.
And, when he said you really need to spend at least a couple of days because we were only there for a few hours. There was no way that you could go through all of those trucks.
I would almost think hanging out at the judging stand might be one of the best places to hang out for 3 days.
Can we stop just a moment and go on the air live?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, because here we go. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning talk. It's the In Wheel Time Show.
10 years?
10 years.
This is the 10-year anniversary
It is.
show?
Just ahead, a great guest lineup, including new car whiz Jack Nerad. Mr. Mars reviews the Volvo XC90. We gaze into our crystal ball and look at the weekly events calendar, all the things coming up for you to do in the automotive venue. We'll have the stories making auto news headlines this week. We got that and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, March the 6th, 2021. Howdy, along with Mike out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin over there. You can punch yourself up so you can say it because we need no, go ahead.
We need more Jeff.
We need more Jeff.
It's about time you acknowledge me. You talked about the Suze, you talked about his phone and Mike.
Yeah, but you got to get down the list for you.
Yeah, obviously I am down the
Well,
list.
Facebook is saying Jeff does an outstanding job.
Well,
He does.
thank you, Facebook.
Yeah. So anyway, we're all here. I'm Don Armstrong, and glad that you could join us on this beautiful Saturday, right outside of Houston, Texas. As a matter of
Gorgeous
fact.
outside.
It is.
It is
beautiful
shaping
day.
up nice out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful weekend for a change. You know, last weekend we had the threat of rain, and it was cloudy, and it finally opened up in the afternoon up in Conroe, and it was good. A great show out there at the Lone Star Throwdown. Mm-hmm.
It was their 10th anniversary as well.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Kind of share the anniversary stuff.
2,000 registered trucks, 500 vendor vehicles, 2,500 vehicles is a lot of rides to look at. Mm-hmm. And if you jump on our Facebook page, there's a couple of good videos up there that have got a real nice collection of vehicles from Lone Star Throwdown.
Yeah. Yeah, it was truly an outstanding event, I think. And Lonnie, on their Facebook page, they posted kind of like a after the cleanup.
Oh,
picture
yeah. I saw that.
I didn't see that.
With the with a truck inside the big arena out there, and that was it. And all the grounds were cleaned up, and they were getting ready to hit the road.
That's a lot of work.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And they take a lot of responsibility to make sure that the grounds are probably cleaner when they leave than they were when they got there.
Next year, I'm going to have a food truck, and all we're going to sell is hot dogs. just regular, plain hot dogs.
Don't need a corn dog, just a hot dog.
Correct. That's all we're going to sell is hot dogs.
I tried to get my favorite food truck to register with them, Fochita. It's a what is it? Vietnamese Mexican fusion truck.
Well, okay. I'm sure that would have been
But
a
there's
huge
no hot
hit.
dogs there.
No.
How about a sushi food truck?
Susie's right there.
Sushi.
Yeah, no, we're all good. Anyway, so we are now going to switch to an international broadcast. I know that you're excited because we are. We're going to talk to the other side of the world, kind of.
Kind of.
And we're going to talk to Manuela Manchin. She is an all-round car lover who's involved in everything automotive. She has a large background, as you can see from our shot here. It's well, kind of. You can see
If
that.
Jeff had picked the right camera.
Whatever.
He's missed. He's
More
missed all
Jeff.
the
I've
cameras.
got my international
We'd much
button.
rather talk to Manuela. And hi and good morning from Houston, America, over there to Italy. And you said earlier, before we went on the air, that you were in a part of Italy that is near the Alps. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. To everyone, thanks about this invite. For me, it's really exciting to be with you. Good. It is just a passion about the cars, about the engine. Big background. Someone can think that I am a driver. No, I just I like drive, but I'm just a passion.
You're just a car lover of all things cars.
Car lover, yes, that's right.
So I've got a list of things here about you, and you're part of the Mustang Pink Power Car Club that you started. It's a female club over there, but it's open to all women around the world. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct. Is Mustang Club Pink Power is a club dedicated to the female, but I have a lot of men that like.
Well, I can't understand that. Because I have to tell you, there are a couple of things that, and I guess I'm going to be sexist and racist here for just a moment, that you're easy on the eyes to look at, and we love the accent, and they both go hand in hand. So you've got that car club going. You also are a member of several clubs here in the United States, the Mustang Club of America, from what I understand. As a matter of fact, that's our connection to you, Randy Weldon, the Mustang Club guy here in locally in the Houston area. He brought you in on today, and we sure appreciate you taking the time. What time is it over there in Italy today?
In Italy right now is 5 minutes after 4.
5 minutes after 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday.
I want to take to Randy also, because he's a great friend in US. About the friendship with Randy Weldon, I be here.
See, one of the things that because I'm old enough to remember, not that I ever had one, but back in the day, we had pen pals that we used to write to around the world. Remember having a pen pal when you were in grade school? Shut up, you don't remember.
I was thinking prison.
Prison. Jeff was thinking prison, but I'm not thinking that way, but they are. So that just gives you an insight into this car show. At any rate, so we're thinking that this is the new pen pal portion.
The Zoom pal.
And now it's the Zoom pal, and so you're part of that. And how exciting for us to be able to know what's going on. So let me just kind of go into this just a little bit and ask you, has the car season started over there in Italy yet? I mean, you have any car shows that you're going to, any rallies or anything like that?
Yes, normally, not in 2020, not today, but normally in Italy we have a lot of car show, gathering, drag race also. We have also a leg of NASCAR Wheel Euro Series that is a championship in Europe, as normally always a leg in Italy. Also last year, but without people, without the passion. In Italy, the passion about the cars, the American cars, is really strong. So year by year, every event has been better, has been perfected. Until 2019, it was always during this from February until October, November. Normally, you could have a lot of option to go to the gathering every weekend. Normally, you get more than one gathering, so it was just a choose to you have a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, and we have that in Houston as well. There's always multiple car meets going on every day, every weekend. So it's kind of cool. So do you own a Mustang?
Right now, no, I don't have a Mustang.
You just love them.
An American car. I hope to get one early, but not in this moment.
So what do you drive every day? What kind of car?
It's a BMW car, but
a BMW.
BMW.
Yes, got it.
Yes.
I wasn't quite sure about that last letter that you were saying there, so I went out on a limb and just kind of guessed that it was a BMW. Is it a late model BMW or is it a classic car?
No, it's not classic, but there are.
It's a few years old?
Yes, 15 years old.
Oh, it's 15 years old. Okay, all right.
It's not new, but for everyday drive.
Yeah. Well, you know, over here, BMWs are kind of like they're priced a little bit higher than most cars, but over there, from what I understand, they're not necessarily priced out of the market. I mean, they're much more common over there.
But in Italy, there are a lot of people that use BMW.
Yes, BMWs. Yes. So, what is the top selling car in Italy? What is the number one car? What's sold the most? What do you see on the roads in Italy the most?
Is a difficult, not difficult. Is a different.
Models?
Yes, because until a couple of years ago, normally a lot of people buy small car or BMW and Mercedes. Audi too. Right now, in the last 2 years, I can see that the choices has been changed because there are more and more electrical hybrid car. So a lot of Toyota, a lot of also Fiat too.
Yeah, I would figure Fiat would be pretty popular over there, considering it's your national car. And does Fiat offer electric vehicles as well over there?
Yes, Fiat is always. I think that is the most important label of the car sell in Italy. But also Ford is a big label about the seller. There are a lot of Ford in our.
It's funny.
Didn't you tell me that you can now buy a new Mustang over there at the Ford dealer that? Only within the last couple of years?
But if you want to buy a new Mustang, you can buy inside a dealer of the Ford dealer. Not all Ford dealer, just the most important Ford dealer in Italy can sell the Mustang, but the new Mustang, the sixth generation, just the sixth generation. If you want an old one, you have to buy through as imported, or you can buy from another owner. That in Italy there are a lot of people that are owner of Mustang and American cars. So they can change car, they can sell, buy another one. Also, always old one. So you can buy from another. Member of the club. Otherwise, you can have more possibility if you go in German, if you go in France, if you go in north of Europe, where there are at least 10,000, more than 10 times in Italy.
So if you go to some of these, when it comes back to going to car meets and stuff, if you showed up in a Mustang, would you attract a lot of attention, or in the European world is Mustang kind of viewed as just an American car? Does it really attract attention if you showed up in a classic Mustang?
No, people, because in Italy you can't use your Mustang for everyday drive.
No. Just if you brought it to a meet,
a car show,
gathering,
car gathering.
about the car show, you go just if you have the Mustang, if it's a Mustang gathering. Otherwise, you can have a gathering about all American cars, so you can go with another American car or American bike. But people that has other label, or European label, no, normally they don't stay together in the gathering.
Now, you mentioned something when we were talking last week about Mustangs on Malta, an event that you went to?
Yes. And in Malta, that is a small isle in south of Italy, but it's not Italy, it's another country. There are a lot of Mustang. There is a big club, Mustang Club of Malta, where I went in 214 to celebrate the 50 birthday of the Mustang, and I knew that they have a lot of Mustang, old Mustang, perfectly in perfect state, that they normally has this Mustang, but they don't use that cars every day. They use just for the gathering, the meeting. But they have a lot. So I want to say hello also to the president, that is Felix Farrugia, and his son, that is Eric. Also Charlie Farrugia. Is a big family that are passionate about Mustang since I don't know from, but there are a lot of years that they like these.
They like the Mustangs, yeah.
Blue oval.
Yes. Well, I just thought it was interesting that the island Malta had a big collection of Mustangs there. It just seemed.
Yes, they have more Mustang than the street.
Oh.
They have more Mustangs than streets. Yeah, I could understand that.
When they put the Mustang in the street, the isle is empty. It's full.
Okay.
And then there are a lot of Mustang Club in Europe, big Mustang Club in Europe. Another one is Mustang Club de France in France. Right now is the only that has fixed a meeting for Mustang on April 3. I hope they can maintain the date, because this year is...
It's still kind of iffy.
Still a mess because of COVID, yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about your TV program called Mondo Custom. 30 minutes. Yeah, Mondo Custom. It's on the Sky Channel 228 and about 10 others across Italy. Is it a program that is spoken in Italian, or do you try to make it an English program as well?
Right now, normally we speak in Italian language. This is a program called Mondo Custom that go on air once a week. And then we put the program also on Facebook and YouTube page.
And what do you guys talk about on the program?
Inside this program, we speak just about engine, so bikes and cars, gathering and history about the car, history about the label, history about the designer also, because. This is my passion was passion about the car. The passion of my boyfriend Roberto Cotugno, that is the founder of Neuro TV, that is the page of on Facebook where you can find Mondo Custom.
Did she
too.
have to mention the boyfriend? Did she have to mention that? You didn't have to mention the boyfriend, but that's okay. We'll move on. You are out of the other side of the ocean, so I can respect all of that.
we
But in this moment, we are far too, because he lives in Milano and I live in near Torino. So we have 150 kilometers
Apart.
Yes, but the problem is about the limitation of in this period. So we are far in the same way. I far from Houston.
Driving across Houston's 150 kilometers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. So I have to ask you. You are near the Alps, from what I understand. Is that correct?
Yes, but I'd like to finish just a little thing about the Mondo Custom.
Okay, yes, please do. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, sorry. Just in this moment, we normally speak in Italian, but when in the year until 220 also, we normally get a lot of part of the program with video in US, because the program has a door on the world of the car. So due to I have a lot of friends in US, in Australia too, in North Europe. Friends send us their video about the gathering, about the race, about everything, and we put this video inside the program. There was a period when we put the subtitle in when we spoke in Italian language. There was also a subtitle in English, so people could.
So I can understand.
Well, our Facebook page brings subtitles up as well automatically.
It does?
Yeah, it does.
Really?
Yeah, right down here.
That's because Mike's from East Texas. So.
That's exactly
I need all the help
right.
I can get.
So, Manuela, we want you to stay tuned. We've got to do a couple of other things, and we're going to have you back at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to try to get through the rest of this list here of things I want to talk to you about, including the representative of Mustang Club of America went to we talked about the Mustangs on Malta event. That was interesting. I want to talk to you about drag racing over there in northern Italy, and some other things too. So stay with us, and we'll be back with you here in about 10 minutes. So we're going to continue our conversation, okay?
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay, so it's Manuela Manchin, and she's part of an international club of car nuts like us.
Well, that just shows the passion for Mustang worldwide.
There's so many questions. I mean, this is Mustang. What about the Ferrari clubs and the Porsche clubs?
I'm sure that we'll get to that. But right now,
a lot of questions.
We're going to switch gears because we need to talk about the events calendar. And that's something that we always look forward to because we've got things to look forward to in the car world.
Well, tomorrow night, tonight at 5 p.m., the Mustang Car Club of Houston, their monthly cruise-in at Coalina's Italian Cafe, 8800 Katy Freeway. The 6 p.m. tonight is the Kima Car Meet and Show, and that's kind of an ongoing.
Coalina's.
Huh?
Coalina's?
Coalina's, C-O-L-L-I. We'll have to ask
Manuel.
She could. I can't.
She could interpret it.
She can interpret it.
Oh God.
And then tomorrow morning is Coffee and Chrome at Prince's Hamburger. I got that right, didn't I?
Should be a nice day for that too.
At Sharpstown Golf Course, which is 6600 Harbortown Drive, and that starts at 9 a.m. Also, tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. is the Woodlands Coffee and Cars for a Cause up on Market Street in the Woodlands, and that's always worth going to. Some really good iron shows up to there, from the classic American muscle cars to the high dollar exotic Italian Italian cars, and then everything in between. Great show to go to. And then coffee, cars, and donuts at the Whitehall Cafe in Navasota at 8 a.m.
All right, time now for our car review of this hour. And Mr. Mars got a chance to drive the Volvo XC90. I'm not on the Volvo list. They turned me down. So,
and we all know why.
Well, yeah, exactly, because of my bad Italian accent. Anyway,
apparently, that's really
Mr. Mars, please go
something
right
you need
ahead.
to work on. So we're talking about the XC90. Now, it's a hybrid. Now, Volvo calls their hybrid the Recharge. So it's an XC90 Recharge T8 Inscription, which is the trim level, which puts it at the top of the list. So it is truly a mid-size luxury SUV, CUV with 3 rows, which is kind of, to me, mid-size. I'm not a big fan of 3 rows, but it does make it a 7-passenger vehicle. It's got unique bright chrome bars up front in the grill of it. Got heated. One thing I liked about it, it's got heated windshield wiper blades.
Nice.
Got to have those.
Yeah, particularly down here in Houston.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks
You
ago.
know, it's got the moon roof. It's got integrated roof rails on it. We were rolling on the optional 21-inch aluminum wheels on it, so it's kind of got a nice long straight lines on it. It's a good-looking vehicle, actually. So you go into the interior, again, 7-passenger. We have the Napa leather seating at this trim level with several different wood trims. There was actually 2 different woods used on the Trim It Out. Heated front seats with a backrest massage function. I'm just telling you, I like it. Heated rear seats. Had the graphic HUD to go along with the 12.3-inch driver's display that was up on the dash, so you got plenty of room to see all the things that are going on. It got a 9-inch vertical infotainment center. Now, it's got the 360-degree sound view camera, got a lot of nice functions in it, but it's 90% touch. Very few buttons on this vehicle.
What is that?
So that is the shifter. It's a really cool shifter. It's
Some
kind
sort
of
of
like a little
crystal thing?
crystal-looking thing. Gives a different look to it, and it worked pretty good. Again, push button, park button, I'm not a fan of because I'm always trying to shift into park, but I got to reach over and hit the button. The standard audio system on this vehicle, again, luxury vehicle, Harman Kardon, nice system. We had the
See, they're
optional.
plugging in the Harman Kardon system right
Yeah,
there.
we had the optional Bowers Wilkins premium sound for $3,200.
Yikes.
So we're plugging in the hybrid in this picture here. This is part of the engine package. There's 2 actual engines. You can get the 2.0 liter is what we had. 2.0 liter gasoline engine that is supercharged and turbocharged.
Okay.
So the supercharger eliminates any possibility of turbo lag. So it equates out to right at 400 horsepower combined. That's 313 people on the gas
Out
engine.
of 2 liters.
Out of
a
2
Volvo.
liters.
Yeah, but an electric part of it too.
Well, the
Yeah,
electric
that's
part
okay.
of it's 87, but that little 2 liters popping 313 on its own.
Dang.
With its turbocharger and supercharger. 472 pound-feet of torque combined with the 2 of them.
Does
now,
it come with an accent too?
No, it doesn't.
A Swedish accent?
Swedish. I was looking under the seat to see what
Does
else
it
it
come?
had.
How about some meatballs?
That's what I was looking for under the seat. So this is a plug-in EV. It's rated to go 18 miles on electric only.
Okay.
Not very far.
No.
But one cool thing, the way they've got it set up, the battery power, when you are running on it, the battery power runs the rear-wheel drive. The gasoline engine runs the front-wheel drive. So you actually got a all-wheel drive whenever it's functioning.
For 18 miles.
For 18 miles. Backed by an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, in the electric mode, in the gasoline combined, you're looking at 55 miles per gallon equivalent.
Can you make it so it runs on EV only?
I could not.
Well,
I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Because you got a fat foot.
Well, but I mean, it's
It's all automatic, and okay,
yeah.
I got it. All right.
yeah. But I was really surprised about the performance on it. Yeah.
I'm going to be surprised about the price too. I got a feeling.
Oh, yes, you are.
Let me
So,
Dun, dun, dun.
EV, so whether I was on the EV or on the gasoline engine, it really ran really well. And it's got a 4-corner air suspension that I liked really well. Now, if you're looking for something to compare it to, it's a little tough to get out there into that luxury hybrid, but I found a BMW X5 hybrid that goes up to about $67,945. Mercedes-Benz has a GLC hybrid at around $64,350. I had to go up and build that to get to that. Audi Q7 hybrid, it's at $70,470. Now, you can get a base XC90 Volvo, just a base Volvo for $49,995. But you get into the hybrid, the base on this particular vehicle is $69,750.
And the rollout price
with some options. MSRP is tested $81,690
Okay.
for the XC90 hybrid.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Meatballs. The In Wheel Time show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, Pandora, Amazon, and Podcast Addict. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, March 20th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods, all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, March 20th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, March 20th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy, weather permitting.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. It's a beautiful day here in the United States of America, and from what I understand, it's a beautiful day over in Italy, where our guest this hour is Manuela Manchin, all-round car lover who's involved with everything automotive over there in Italy. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us. We're going to continue our interview that we started last hour, and we're going to talk to you now about European drag racing. I didn't know that there really was a thing like we have here in the United States about European drag racing.
Drag, put two car people together. They're always going to try and figure out who's fastest.
Well, I guess
That's just the way it is.
I guess you're right. Are you involved in any drag racing, Manuela?
Oh, we've lost her.
Come on, turn.
No,
She muted her side.
Manuela, you've muted your side over there, so we can't hear you. So you're going to have to.
There you are.
Okay, now we can hear you. Okay, all right. So tell me about the drag racing in Europe.
Yes, there are. I'm involved about the public as a public, but not involved. I'm not a driver in a drag race. There are a lot of drag race in Europe, and also there is a drag race championship in Italy too, from 17, 18 years about. In north of Italy, so it's not so far from my house. Normally, I go every year to see the cars, and year by year has been international too, because people who organized the drag race in Italy went to another country like Germany, like France, in their race. So a lot of team become to go in Italy. We have a championship in Italy that is a really international championship right now.
I can only imagine the cars at a drag race in Italy. I mean, I have.
Do they have like top fuel cars?
Nitro? Do they have nitro cars in Italy?
She might not even know what that is, but all I can think is, are they name brand cars mainly that are drag raced? Like, for instance, Fiats, BMWs, and that sort of thing.
But I can understand what you think about Italy, about the American car in Italy. No, there are a lot of kind of car. Also for the car race, the drag race, there are BMW. There are also Bagel of Volkswagen. There are also Fiat, old Fiat they used to, but the core, the most important part of the race is with American cars.
Oh, it is.
okay.
It's the American
So
car.
they, do,
So
they
like-
do the American V8 over there.
Corvettes, Mustangs, those.
Camaro?
All I can
Yeah.
think of is a European vacation. And there they are in the plaza going around and around and around, or somebody's hidden in the trunk, or they're going downstairs in some sort of a Fiat or something.
I'm thinking of a Fiat 500 with a big old blown big block Chevrolet in it like that Metro is here in town.
Or a Jason Bourne movie where they're
Yeah, something like that. But we've kind of gone off course here. But
as we
but at any
usually
rate,
do.
I can only imagine how what an interesting trip to Italy to go see a drag race over there, and you wind up seeing American cars.
It'd be fun.
It would be.
So, Manuela, do you also go to the Formula One races?
Not lately, but I went to see the Formula One race. That is really, really exciting to see the Formula One. But it was in the not 200, before the 200. I think that at the end of 1997, about.
Right.
Right now, I know a driver of Formula One who drive a NASCAR, European NASCAR car that is Alex Caffey. He has also a team who is the one of the team of European NASCAR series in Italy.
So is
So,
it-
what kind of cars do they use in their NASCAR races?
And it's the same cars you have, but with less power. So the engine is always Chevrolet, but the label outside can be Mustang, Chevy, Toyota, or
Okay.
so on.
But basically, they all run the same engine, just like they do over here.
Yes, because now in the last 2 years, I know that the more than 2 years, the last 5 years, I know that the European NASCAR race has been a part of NASCAR, really NASCAR, American NASCAR. So the driver who win in the Elite One, because there are two sections, Elite One for champion and Elite Two for the rookie, women, and the other driver.
So do the NASCAR fans over there have mullets as well? No. No, I'm just joking.
I can tell you that there is also a driver, a woman driver, Italian woman driver in the NASCAR European Series.
Perfect.
That she is my friend, is Arianna Casoli. So she's really strong driver. I hope she win. Yeah, she won the female award. She won some award that normally there are inside the championship. But I hope she will on the podium. And
That's right.
Last year I knew another. Young, really rookie driver of NASCAR that is from Cipro, the isle of Cipro. He is, I think he will be next champion of the NASCAR, European NASCAR.
Have you ever been in one of the NASCARs?
Yes, I get the opportunity to get a lift inside a NASCAR, a really NASCAR car, with the driver, the Brazilian driver Abreu. I was inside in the circuit of Franciacorta in Italy. It was really exciting. So I took also a video from inside of the car, and that is a really nice memory.
Good deal. So he's from, where did you say the driver was from? Belgium? Oh.
Yes. Also, I normally it was the period of the before the race. So they set a car just to put inside another person. Otherwise, normally they don't have another person inside the car.
Right.
But in that day, there was the possibility to take a lift just because they put another seat.
Oh, okay.
So you got a ride along.
Got a ride along seat.
Yes.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Did it scare you?
What kind of speeds were you doing? Did you notice?
I don't know what I can say, but I see that last week you all were outside in a gathering, and
yes.
I would like to be there with you, because
well, for God's sakes, don't tell your boyfriend that.
Yeah.
Come over here and kick our butts.
Well, Texas is very open. We're not closed down from COVID the way other parts of the world are.
We're going to try to get the clarified.
Yeah. So,
exactly.
I think that is the good choice, because
did
you do well.
Yeah.
Did you see any trucks you liked when you were looking at last week?
Yes, I see everything, every part of the part. I like to be inside the gathering. I like to go inside a circuit. I went a lot of time in US, so I visit a lot of circuit in Charlotte.
So I want to know when you're going to come over here and visit us. Without the boyfriend.
When you come to Texas.
When I return, I want to meet you in
we want to meet you, baby. I'm sorry, I just had to say that.
A lot of good Mexican restaurants. Good margaritas.
Yeah, we could have some margaritas on a Saturday night.
But I can say that last time I went in US, I went also in Texas, because there was the meeting of the Mustang Club of America, where I was invited, because I'm the first. I feel I'm still the first international director of Mustang Club.
And a good one at that.
So were you at the Lone Star Flight Museum when they had the meet here?
No, I know about the museum, because I knew when I was in the meeting, because the Mustang Club of
Lone Star Mustang Club.
Yes, that's right. They were organizing the meeting with the tour inside the museum.
Right.
So another museum that I would like to visit too is the Mustang Museum, also in North Carolina, where I have a lot of friends. North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida too. I'm member for life in Mustang Club of Florida. Is Southwest Gulf Shore Mustang Club.
Okay, Gulf Shores, yeah. Well, you need to come down to Houston. You can meet Randy. You can meet us.
And
Yes.
Don.
And Don.
And Randy's online, and he says hello. Randy Weldon says hello.
Yes, yes. I think Randy is on the online to follow the program.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
he joins us.
He
each
joins
week.
real regularly.
How is Randy's Italian? Does he speak fluent?
No,
No.
No.
No, he does not speak fluent Italian.
Okay.
neither do we.
That's right.
I
Neither
do.
do we.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, we really enjoy the time you've given us, and the just the knowledge of what's going on in Italy in the car world. And I find it really interesting that there is a large contingent of American cars over there that are racing in the drag race, but also just driving around on the streets, showing up at meets.
Yeah,
It's
just
pretty cool.
look at all the stuff she's got in the background with all the Mustangs
Manuela,
and stuff.
what is your Facebook page? How do we get to your Facebook page?
My Facebook page is Manuela Manchin. There is a Facebook page that is Manuela Manchin Pink Power.
Pink Power, okay.
Power. Then there is a profile page of Facebook, Manuela Manchin. And then you can find also a lot of my video on Neuro TV.
Yes.
Page where lately due to we can get a meeting outside. Normally I tell about history of the label about the designer, the Italian designer, especially because I live in close to Torino. Torino, a lot of people know that the headquarter of Fiat, but also the place where a lot of car designer.
Was Pininfarina there?
Yes, in close Torino.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
So-
I knew that.
And Torino was just another Ford car as well. Hey,
Yeah.
Yes, it's like a Detroit, I think.
the Grand
So,
Torino.
that is the reason that in some years, a couple of years ago, I organized a little tribute to Woodward in my city, because I went there in the US. I see the Woodward in
Woodward.
close-
She's
Yes.
she's been to Woodward.
You've
We
been to
haven't been to
Yeah, I
Woodward.
was gonna say,
I mean,
we're-
what's wrong with this picture here?
We're jealous.
I've been
And
to
I
Woodward.
want to return to see to go in at Woodward, and I decided to organize a parade with all kind of cars in Italy, called my tribute to Woodward.
Wow.
That's
Very
awesome.
good.
Well,
very
Manuela,
good.
it is absolutely a pleasure to talk to you, and we really appreciate you taking the time out of your Saturday to join us. They're 5-6 hours ahead of us.
Well, it's almost 5 o'clock there now.
Yeah. So at any rate, thank you. Let's stay in touch and let us know when you're coming to visit us. We'll come and pick you up at the airport, okay?
Okay, that's right. Thanks to you all, and have a nice day.
You do the same. Bye-bye. Manuela Manchin.
How fun.
I know. What a fun
Hey,
interview.
this is a worldwide show.
We are.
We are. I still haven't figured out the award-winning part. We win awards for doing this.
Until they come get you.
Yeah. Well, and they have, on occasion, come and got us. Yeah. Mainly on remote broadcasts is when we get all of that.
Thanks, Randy. We appreciate that.
Yes,
That was
thank
a
you,
good-
Randy
good
Weldon.
contact. Good
Yeah,
contact.
exactly. That was a fun interview. I thought at first when we kind of did a little test with her before we went on the air this morning to see what she sounded like, and I'm thinking, oh dear God, we're not going to be able to understand her, but she did well.
She did very well.
Yeah, once she got past the nervous part and kind of gets into her role.
Yeah, you did
She
too.
does pretty
Once you
good.
got past that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy
just
said
a couple of years ago.
Randy Weldon said he first met her at Indianapolis. So she's quite the car nut. Whether it's
She was on her way
Round,
back from
around.
Woodward.
Via Indianapolis. Yeah, there was that. Well, anyway, that was a lot of fun. Hey, I got a couple of announcements to make. One is that tickets are now on sale for the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil, which I confirmed with Seth Angel, the proprietor out there at Houston Raceway Park. Yeah.
In May.
Well, I have to make sure that I got the
I know there's so many.
Houston Motorsports Park, Houston
Raceway.
Anyway. Yeah. So at any rate, so we're confirmed, and we are going to be there on Saturday, May the 22nd. And we're going to do our broadcast from there. We'll have our usual lineup of NHRA drivers that everybody seems to love those interviews, and me included. Get to talk to the guys and talk about going 300 miles an hour.
Well, it's guys and girls.
And girls too.
Well, I want to have Antron Brown on again. He is such a hoot to interview.
He's a great interview.
I was following him. They're testing this weekend in Florida as well, and he's having a blast doing it.
I'm going to get a hot dog.
You get a hot dog. Also, spoke with Gina Shald-Knowles out at Houston Motorsports Park, and the first race of the season is going to be April the 3rd.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to include Pro Truck, Pro Mod, Outlaw, Pro, Super Stock, Legacy, Eco Stocks, and NASCARs. So everybody will be there, and it's going to be on Saturday, April the 3rd. And you can go to HoustonMotorsportsPark.com and get all
We need to get an in-wheel time stock car.
Okay. Where are we going to keep it? And who's going to work on it?
Exactly.
Who's going to drive it?
I'll drive it. No, well, it depends. As long as you can guarantee me I won't hurt my back.
Who's got the lead foot in this group?
Well, I guess we all do.
of us.
Yeah, he's the one that gets tickets on the tollway.
No,
So
I don't get tickets.
You just get pulled over.
No, I get phone calls to the phone number that's on my van.
That's great.
And then I get a phone call from my boss going, hey.
Yeah. How come you were doing 90 down the freeway?
97.
97. Was that what you were doing?
That's what the guy said I was doing. I'm like, I don't think the van goes that fast.
How would he know you were going 97?
Because he was trying to keep up with me. It was a Cadillac. It was a CTS, but it wasn't a V.
Well, I just find that hard to believe. That's fake news there.
Fake news. Right. So those are a couple of the things. It's kind of like on my Don Armstrong racing calendar that I know I didn't want to steal your thunder.
No, that's okay. George Skelton says if Manuela does come to Houston, Don will take her out to the Olive Garden.
The big spender.
Well, that's good Italian, right?
Oh, God.
That's too funny.
Man.
Yeah.
George,
No.
I don't know what we do without you sometimes.
Meatballs or meat sauce? That's the question.
Yeah, no. That'd be kind of like going to, what is that place where you raise the flag for the Mexican food?
Ponchos.
Oh, God. That's not Mexican food. That's
What kind of flag?
Yeah, it depends. At any rate, so I can do some headlines now, or what else? Is there something else that you need?
No, we do headlines.
Okay.
I got a couple.
Oh, Lord, I've got a bajillion of them. Let me do the recalls. I got
Oh, gosh.
the
There's
recalls.
a buttload of them, too.
Well, and I'm going to try to abbreviate it because it goes on and on and on. Missing or loose rear suspension bolts on the Ford Bronco Sport for 2021. Oops. Also, frontal airbag inflator may explode on the Ford Ranger from 2004 to 2006. Takata. And there's a bunch of other Fords. I mean, of course, Ford is trying to play catch up because they had some sort of lawsuit and said, "Oh, well, we're not going to recall them because blah 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 blah." Well, now they're having to recall them all.
And GM did the same thing.
Yes, of course.
They fought the Takata airbag thing, and now they're
Mazda CX-30 2020 to 2021. The power liftgate may lower unexpectedly. That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Inadequate windshield bonding on the Ford trucks, 2020 to 2021 models, F-150, 250, 350, 450, and 550. So the windshield could
pop out,
debond,
Yep.
and blow off as you're running down the freeway?
No. It's about when the passenger side airbag inflates. It actually rolls up, hits the windshield, and then rolls out to catch the passenger. So the windshield bonding's very important part of the airbag inflation process. So if the windshield pops out when the airbag blows, it doesn't catch anybody, and they smash into the dash.
I was thinking maybe it just leaks.
No. This is purely about the windshield popping out when the airbag deploys.
BMW has recalled just about everything from the 2018 to 2021 model years. Rear view camera image malfunction.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
As technology advances, kind of the silliness of
how can you have an image? I mean, an image is an image. Is it a car?
I guess
person?
it's fuzzy.
Yeah, either that or it doesn't show up or something. But the bottom line is you put your VIN number into a little box on the safercar.gov website. It will ask you for it, and then it will tell you whether or not that particular vehicle has been recalled. Now, I give you all of this, and it may take a week or two for it to show up on that site. But you need to check it regularly.
Check your car.
At least twice a year.
Yeah, at least.
So the 2021 Ram 1500 was the only pickup to earn top awards for the IIHS top safety pick rating, which is pretty good because pickup trucks generally don't do real well.
Well, let me continue on to the doom and gloom, shall I?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because this is are you going to go, what? Yes,
What?
it's true. This is one of those kind of stories. Here's the story from Automotive News. After the unprecedented winter storm here in Texas and other states last month, automakers and suppliers could be slammed by yet another devastating parts shortage that could idle seating plants as early as next week.
Seating.
Seating.
Like sit in the seat.
The blizzard halted our region's critical petrochemical plant, which could lead to a shortage in automotive seating foam, according to industry sources. That storm that left millions without heat or power amid sub-freezing temperatures has impacted production of oil refinery byproducts used to make propylene oxide needed for the polyurethane foam found in auto seats.
Oh, yeah. A lot of that stuff out in Baytown isn't just petroleum production, it's production of plastic products as well.
The potential shortage comes as the supply-constrained industry navigates an unexpected rebound in consumer demand and an alarming microchip shortage that has halted production lines for a number of automakers.
And continues.
An auto industry executive who spoke with Crane's Detroit Business on the condition of anonymity, I don't want to get fired, said some seating supplier assembly lines were expected to run out of foam by this coming Monday. Of all the odd things.
So they'll have to go back to what they used for seating padding back in the 20s, horsehair.
So that term...
Well, let me finish this. Hold that thought.
All right.
A lot of production is down still for oil refinery byproduct, and in a few days, no one is going to be able to make propylene oxide, the executive said. Everyone is scrambling. This problem is bigger and closer than the semiconductor issue.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all the things that come out of the petroleum world, not just gasoline.
You don't think of it.
Yeah.
So that term, there's a but for every seat, doesn't apply.
Well, if there's no seat, no, you're right. Yes.
But there's always a but.
There you go.
That's B-U-T, not B-U-T-T.
Okay.
There's that.
Or never mind.
Okay. Well, that's it for the headlines, and we're going to take a pause here, play a couple of informative messages, and then we're going to be back with hour number 2 of our show.
Awesome.
So stay with us, and thank you for joining us here on the In Wheel Time program.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, March 20th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods, all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off at a friends and family event at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupe founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, March 20th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, March 20th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupe's in Katy, weather permitting. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@nwheeltime.com. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk. This is In Wheel Time. Just ahead, a review of our new car of the week, the 2021 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLE 53.
It's a hot rod.
The cruise-in calendar will have also This Week in Auto History and the stories making automotive news headlines. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, March the 6th, 2021. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin over there, and Don Armstrong here. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. It's a gorgeous weekend here in Houston, Texas. I am proud to report.
It's kind of like our normal winter weather now. It lasts for about a week, and then it'll go back to being hot or something.
No, but it's supposed to be. I think that the big chill is over with, and I think that the weather's going to improve steadily.
We had to cut all the deadfall out of my yard. I mean, and Angie's out of town.
I'm still working on mine.
All of the bushes and plants.
I was
and stuff
listening to my friend Randy Lemon over at KTRH this morning, and of course everybody's all panicked about their yard and all of the death that they see in there, but it's not necessarily dead.
Right.
So if you just give it a little time, it'll tell you whether it's dead or not.
No, these are all slimy and kind of laying over.
If it's
they were
palm
dead.
trees?
No. These were, I think Angie calls them succulents. So they were,
Succulent.
well, they're kind of if you crack them open, it's almost like a cactus inside.
That was actually my pet
It was
name.
all.
I was just going to say, I'm not even going to go there, so we'll just leave that at
But they
that.
say
Anyhow,
if
let's
you cut
move
the
on.
branch, if it's still green on the inside, then it's still alive.
Right.
So.
Well, I'll tell you somebody that knows all about plants. And his name, from Consumer Reports, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Monticello. He's out there gardening as we speak. Well, he's come inside, and he's here to talk to us today about, you ready for this? Destination fees on the window sticker. Now, this was a story that actually has been kind of growing here in the past, 6 months or so, because I don't know whether you've been shopping or looked at the window stickers on cars, but that destination fee continues to go up. Remember, for decades it was at $500
Right.
across the board, $500 destination fee.
No matter where you were going.
That's right, $500.
And it was the same whether you were delivered a Tahoe in Arlington, which is where they build them, or if they delivered that same Tahoe in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Correct.
That destination fee was the same across the board.
Well, in my estimation, I think what's happened, and Mike's going to confirm or deny this, is that I think that the bean counters went, wait a minute.
We can make more money.
We can make a lot of money by upcharging all of these destination fees. What are we doing? Why are we giving this away?
And we can still advertise that low, low price.
So, Mike, it's great to see you. Thank you for coming in from your gardening chores this morning. We really appreciate it. But let's talk about this. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me back on the show, and I'm so glad your weather is
better,
has improved so much down there.
And how about you? How up there, up in the Northeast? How are you doing?
Yeah, it's in the 20s today, so it's a little chilly, but we're still going to go out for a hike in the woods later on, get a little exercise with the dog, and but no snow right now. I mean, there's a little bit left on the ground, but yeah, I don't even know if you guys need me on this show because you guys pretty much have the destination charge thing figured out.
I just guessed. I don't know, but that's the only thing that I can think of.
You're really close. It did seem like for years there was a pretty standard fee and you're like, okay, so I have to pay $500 or $600, and eventually it got to around, $800 or $900 seemed pretty common, but that didn't seem that outrageous. And where the kind of gist of this sort of investigation that we did came from was our senior director of auto testing, Jake Fisher. He was, we buy all of our own test cars. Yep. And so he just happened to see the window sticker of one of the cars when, our secretary was going through some paperwork and he noticed it was nearly $1,500 and he was like taken aback and he's like, whoa, when did this happen? And is it common? Is this where they're all going? And so he asked our data guys and gals to crunch the numbers and look over the last 10 years or so and see what has the trajectory been of destination charges. And what he found out was it has been going up. Some automakers have been raising them much more than others. Some are keeping it pretty reasonable, but Stellantis, which used to be FCA, which of course used to be Chrysler, is pretty much the worst offender. But it almost seems like kind of what you said, especially when you ask them what exactly is making them go up, and they give you these kind of non-answers, and it kind of appears as though they figured out, well, yeah, so this is a fee that you're told at the dealer is a pass-through charge through the dealer. The dealer doesn't make any money. And it's a non-negotiable fee is what most dealers are going to tell you. Hey, there's your little pooch. So therefore they figured.
So the dealer's going to talk about our dog?
Yeah.
Or your pooch.
So,
no, we saw his pooch walking around at his place earlier.
Yeah. Oscar's over here somewhere. So, if you figure, if you raise this charge by like $100 and you sell 2 million vehicles, that's a ton of money. Yep. And you haven't had to change your base advertised price at all. Not one bit.
Right.
Because it's not included in the base price.
Right.
Exactly. The way that the window sticker works is you've got your base price up at the top, and then you've got, they list all the standard features, then they'll list the options if there are any, and then right before the very bottom, total suggested retail price is this destination charge, which, so the numbers are, when we looked at the numbers, average destination charge among mainstream automakers, we're not talking Ferrari and, right. Lamborghini and people like that and Bentley. But if you look, it was $839 in 2011. And by 2020, it was $1,244. That's a 48% increase over that decade. 48% if you factor in inflation, that 839 becomes 965. That's still a 29% increase. So it's been raising more than twice the amount of inflation. And speaking specifically, and I don't want to just poke at, FCA or Stellantis, but Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep between 2011 and 2020 rose 90% in their destination charges. Wow. Ram trucks, 74%. Fiat, 112% since 2012.
Has anybody ever asked how much does it cost to ship, let's just say a Jeep Wrangler, since we're on Stellantis
from
here.
Toledo.
From Toledo, Ohio to Houston, Texas. What I find is kind of interesting in the fact that it's the same charge for the same vehicle across the country. It makes no difference whether you're shipping it to you down the street
distance,
or if you're shipping it all the way to Hawaii, it's the same price. Okay, so they just make it a standard fee. They average it all up. Wow. This is what it's going to cost, and they spread it out among all of the cars.
And I think it's within that formulation they're allowed to hide.
Well,
yeah. So we reached out to several automakers, and most of them, like I said, gave us non-answers, and they wouldn't tell you exactly what was included. The basic premise, you guys are right on again, is that what they did was years ago, because it was unfair for some dealers who were really close to either the port or the factory, that their destination charge could be a lot less. So what they've done with the destination charge, like you said, it's the same car for each model throughout the country. And it's basically supposed to be the average of what it costs to ship it to the closest dealer to the furthest away dealer. So so one dealer doesn't lose out because they're so much further away from the port or the factory, right? So that's what it's supposed to be. And it's thought to be, there's no law, but it's thought to be a profit neutral fee, right? But again, there's no regulations that say what they can and can't charge. The only regulation with this whole Monroney law, Monroney sticker that was years ago, was that the law says the manufacturer has to list the destination fee if they charge one. But a lot of people take that to mean, that the automakers have to charge a destination fee. It says it right in the law. No, that's not what the law says. The law only says if you choose one. I mean, most goods throughout the U.S. are, you don't pay the cost of what it costs to get from wherever they're made to the store, right? You might pay, say, for furniture. You might pay for the furniture to go from the store to your house.
Right.
But that's different. So, we don't understand why these aren't baked in. And we definitely don't understand why some are going up so much more than others. And when we would ask them, they would, we had one manufacturer even says, I sent several questions and they basically responded and said, we're going to pass on those destination charge questions that you sent over, meaning we're not going to answer. Okay. It was almost like, did you guys see the movie Fight Club? Remember the famous line was, the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club. It seemed like when we're talking to these automakers, the first rule of destination charges is you don't talk about destination charges.
I have the answer. I think I have the answer. So what we're going to do is we're just going to buy all of our cars through Amazon because they don't charge for shipping.
There you go.
Well, why not? I mean, they sell everything else.
The ironic thing is, in 2018, I had a friend bought a brand new Corvette, and he went and took a museum delivery. I mean, you could push the car from Bowling Green to the museum, and they still charged him a destination charge. And they charged him extra for the museum delivery as well.
But doesn't BMW, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't BMW offer you to be able to pick up your car at the BMW factory in Germany, and that there's no destination fee? You picked it up there.
Yeah, that European delivery is a little different, but I do want to say that, if you were, in most cases, if you pick up a Corvette these days at the factory, you're still going to have to pay the destination charge.
Yeah,
right.
And of course, the other thing about destination charge, our destination charge is only from U.S. ports and U.S. factories to the dealers. The whole overseas thing is baked into the price, which again leads to the question: okay, so why is it not baked into the price? For everything,
exactly.
Even in the U.S. I just want to this is the quote we got from FCA or Stellantis when I was trying to understand. Look, I gave him the numbers. These numbers are going up dramatically, and he said vehicle pricing is really about the total package and total vehicle price for the consumer, and not just one element. MSRP is but one element of the pricing equation, including incentives, options, transportation, etc. Well, that's a non-answer. I mean, he didn't say anything. And then when I specifically reached out to Fiat Public Relations and I said, look, this is what your Fiat 124 Spider went from. It was like something like $945 or $995 in 2017 when we bought our test model. And by 2019, it was $1,495. And I said, why did it go up so much? That doesn't make any sense. The car didn't change. Mazda Miata, which is they're built in the same factory, right, overseas, charges like $945 and has consistently charged that 900 some destination charge. And they said, so we made a change we changed the prices to bring them more in line with the rest of the FCA or rest of the Stellantis products. So in other words, they didn't say that we were losing a whole bunch of money and we realized we were losing our shirt on this destination charge. They just said, no, we just changed it so they were in line with all of our other brands.
Because everybody else went up, so we're going to go up too.
I wonder if there's a phone number that you can call with, Southern Pacific or one of the rail line companies and say, look, I want to get a price on how much it would cost to load up a car car in Toledo, Ohio, and ship that car via rail to Houston, Texas, the port of Houston, how much would that cost?
Well, I know you can do it by truck.
I've got two little tidbits for you guys.
Yep.
I did call several shipping companies, that would ship via like a tractor trailer, like the ones that you'd see, going to the dealers. And we were quoted. We were sort of having a little fun with it. We were quoted $475 for a Fiat 500 to go from our test facility in Connecticut to Chrysler's headquarters in Detroit, and it was $475 door to door. That was a 700-mile trip. That included taxes, mileage, tolls, and insurance, and that's without any economies of scale. And they told me if I owned multiple cars and was shipping them, it would be even less than $475. But these companies are shipping thousands and thousands of vehicles, so their economies of scale should be awesome. And here we are. We could ship a car, not quite halfway across the country, but for way less than what they're charging, which is supposed to be the average. So I mean, and you speak about the rail. Rail actually, according to the Association of American Railroads, who we reached out to, they do the bulk of the moving around. I guess you guys already know that. They do the bulk. The tractor trailers mostly just do it at the very end to get them to the individual
they pick
dealers.
it up from the rail head to the dealer.
The bulk of the new cars move around the country via rail. And their website said that they've gotten so efficient in the way that they package these vehicles that they can ship nearly twice as much freight for approximately the same price as they paid 35 years ago. Now, when I saw that, I immediately reached out to them and said, hey, I would love to find out what's going, we're seeing these fees go up, and you guys are saying on your website that if anything, they can charge, they should really be able to charge less. And they aren't. And so once they realized we were trying to find out why the automakers they just stopped talking to us.
Don't be talking about our gravy train over here.
Let me understand this. Each manufacturer sets their own destination?
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. Just want to make sure.
And then some of our listeners online have said, does this include, because a lot of these vehicles now get wrapped in plastic to get shipped. I don't know that would be included in destination fees, but if
that is part of it. Yeah, you'll see Audis and stuff. A lot of Audis are fully wrapped, but Audi is, so even though Audi fully wraps some of these cars or all their cars, they're still one of the lower in terms of, they've gone up one of the least. I think I've got the numbers here. They're one of the automakers that has gone up the least. So even though they're doing what appears to be, one of the better jobs of actually taking care of the cars on the way there, they haven't jacked them up like some of these other automakers have.
And Corvettes tend to be fully wrapped as well, and they are only delivered via truck. Corvette doesn't spend any time on the rail.
Oh,
so
really?
Okay. So it's really kind of weird, the variance by manufacturer on destination.
That's the big thing.
And the thing
why the variance?
I find kind of strange, because if I'm sitting here and I'm one of the big three or whatever, I'm a car company, and I got bunches of people working with me with computers and things like that. I know where every car is going. I mean, I know that this dealer's going to get this car at some point. I know where it is. I know how many miles it is. I know what it's going to take to get there, or I would like to think I should. So I don't understand why I can't sit there and say car X is going to go to a certain dealer in Houston. Well, it's going to cost us this much money to put it there, so the destination charge is this. But it's only going to cost us this much to go to Dallas because it's 350 miles closer, so the destination charge is this. It's per car. To me, that's a no-brainer in the system because of the computers that we got. I mean, I could do that.
But that goes back to what he talked about earlier, is the disadvantage that it puts the dealer that's further away from the manufacturer.
Yeah, but okay, I'm sitting down here and I'm in Houston, and I know that I can go to Detroit and pay a little bit less because of less destination charge because it's closer. Is it worth it for me to go up there and then drive that car all the way home?
Of course not.
Yeah, so I don't see that being
You couldn't go to Detroit and have a car delivered to you from the factory there.
No, but to a dealer that's in Detroit that's closer. So it's a less I don't see where that's a valid argument for not doing it.
And I think that's the point of the article is, this is kind of their hidey hole of
a gravy train
of profitability, because they know that their fee is X, whatever X is, but they're charging Y, but there's no ability to negotiate that gross profit built into the destination.
So, Mike,
fee.
what is the answer? I mean, what do we do? Do you call the factory and say, hey, look, we want to complain about your destination fee? Like that's going to help.
Luck.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a great question. And I got to be honest with you. Some of my editors, when we were working on this story, said, okay, so you've uncovered this. What's the answer to the consumer? We're supposed to write stories that help the consumer. Right. And my feeling is, the first thing is, we have to let people know what's happening, right? So if people don't know what's happening because we reached out to some of our members, CR members, and one of the people responded, because we said, hey, have you guys noticed destination charges going up? And this guy said, if you can remember what you paid for a destination charge 10 years ago, you're a lot more, with it than I am. So it's one of these things that if you only buy a car, and that's, people,
every 10 years.
Don't buy cars really that often, right? So if you buy a car every 10 years, you might not remember how much you paid before. So it's something they can sort of, in a sense, sneak past you.
You wouldn't really notice it, yeah.
Right. So what we did, first of all, is we now list the destination charge on our website, which is consumerreports.org or cr.org if you're really hip and cool.
Me.
So we on every model page, we have the base price range, right? Base price of the lowest car, base price of the highest trim. And then right underneath it says the destination charge for each model year of the car. So at least now you're seeing it. Because if you go on most automaker websites, it's going to be via an asterisk, and it's probably going to have the base price, and there's going to be some weird asterisk. You put your cursor on the asterisk, and then it's going to say not including a destination charge, blah, 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 blah. Still doesn't say what the destination charge is. You have to click through all the way to the summary on the build-in price to find out, oh my gosh, there's a $1,495 destination charge. So the first thing is we wanted to make people aware. Second thing is, just by simply writing the story and saying this is what's happening. Second thing is we now put it on our website. The third thing is that maybe people start saying, no, I'm not going to pay this. And our suggestion there is we actually talked to a dealer in Florida, Earl Stewart Toyota, and he said, look, if you bring up the destination charge, the dealer is just going to say, oh, no, we can't negotiate on that because that's a pass-through charge. And that's not a lie. That is true. The dealer is not making any money on this destination charge. So what he suggested is try and, have that destination charge number in your head. So be prepared, do your shopping, do your looking online, make sure you know what the different destination charges are for the different models and brands you're looking at. And then let's say it's $1,300. Well, do your best to get at least $1,300 taken out of that negotiated price, and that's at least, so at least you can feel like you didn't, pay for something.
Pay for that part of it. Yeah. And then the dealer will have to turn around and go back to the factory and say, look, I'm getting boned over here because I'm having to give up this destination charge to sell these vehicles. You're going to have to help me out.
He's getting okay. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But Mike, it's always great to talk to you.
Well, great article though. I mean, really insightful to get people to understand what they're paying.
Yeah. So Mike Monticello, Consumer Reports. Look up the story, and I like Consumer Reports, and I have always been a big fan. Mike, it's always great to talk to you. Thanks so much, and I guess more information on the Consumer Reports website.
Right. Thank you guys so much. It was always good talking to you guys. I love how much you guys already know about all this stuff.
Well, we try.
But we learn something new every day.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much again, Mike. Right. Stay safe up there and talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Mike Monticello, Consumer Reports. All right. Time now for the cruise-in calendar. And there's always tons of stuff. And the weather's going to be great. And if you want to go to a cruise-in, tonight's the night.
Well, tonight's the night. And then cruise-in is kind of what's coming on next week and the week following. So, excuse me.
Tonight's the night.
Lone Star Rod and Custom
President
Show.
Biden?
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm sorry.
What am I doing here?
What am I doing? What am I doing here?
The Lone Star Rod and Custom Show up in Austin is April 16th. April 17th is the Camaro Car Show on Kemah Boardwalk. Sunday, April the 18th is the Lowlife Annual Car Meet. And
The Lowlife.
Sure it is.
Like lowered cars.
I see.
Not you and your family
How
members.
come we weren't invited?
Not you and George.
I was going to say, I can relate to that.
At the Speed Sports Park up in North Houston, the go-kart place that Alec Udell, his parents own. And then on May 1st, Keels and Wheels is back on the schedule, and we're understanding that so far it's a go.
It's a go, and we're going to be there.
That'll be exciting. And I think we're also planning on being at NHRA again, correct?
Yes, we are. That's correct.
Thank you, Seth.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. All right, time now for this hour's car review. I had a chance to drive the 2021 Mercedes-Benz. Okay, sit down, and you ready for this?
Yep.
Might want to take a note here. It's the AMG GLE 53 Coupe.
Coupe.
Now,
like
why would you call a four-door vehicle of any kind of coupe? I don't know, but
it's a visual thing when you look at it.
It's got a fastback on it. Okay, available trim levels. Well, this is it. This is the only one available. AMG GLE 53 Coupe. That is, unless you want the bigger motor, and then that's the 63S. Okay, but we're going to talk about the 53. Okay, it's a mid-size fastback four-door SUV, even though it's called a coupe. Okay. I'm more traditional than that. It's not a coupe. It's an SUV, and that's not the coupe, by the way. That is
the SUV.
That's the standard SUV.
It's what was issued to me, and I'm just.
We have to
we'll shoot Mars.
Talk to the background guy.
Yeah, boned again. Mars. Anyway, boned again. All new for 2001 was this model. That was a good one. You thought that would slip right past us, but it didn't.
Never does.
Didn't even think about it when I said it.
Exterior features, sloping roof line limits the bigger hauling capacity in the back. Kind of looks like Porsche-esque.
Well, and that's where the coupe phraseology comes for it, is the tilted back.
It has a huge, big grille with vertical teeth and big Mercedes star in the middle of it. You can't miss it for anything else. Twin dual exhaust tips. Looks like a fastback SUV. This is an interior shot, as you can tell.
It's got that big screen.
Yeah. Interior highlights include the 12-inch dual-purpose instrument cluster infotainment screen. Runs across darn near half the vehicle in the front there. Real wood or carbon fiber accents, depending on what trim level you get. Quilted leather seating surfaces. Lots of control buttons on the steering wheel, on the lower dash, on the center console, on the doors.
Did you count them?
I did not. There were too many, and I can't count that high. Cargo trunk room, again, limited by height because of that sloping roof. What I liked about it, the overall beautifulness, is that a word?
Yeah, it is now.
Of an impressive interior.
I love the steering wheel, too.
What could use improvement? I personally, for me, my old rear end, yes, my old self, it's technology overload. Where are you buying a race car or are you buying an SUV? If you're buying a race car, okay, I get it. So you put up what we call the performance pages in this thing. You got to drill down to get to them, but it's the typical stuff.
But this is the AMG.
But this, it is. But it's still a luxury SUV. I've never seen a luxury SUV racing another luxury SUV.
And how much horsepower does this thing have?
Well, it's got a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbocharged at 429 horsepower. Torque 384 through a 9-speed automatic transmission. This thing will get up and go, baby. Now, as you can see by the window sticker that I have here, it says not final. And it's listed right across where there would be the miles per gallon on it. So they didn't know, but I do.
What was the destination charge?
Well, just a moment, I'll tell you. I got 21 miles per gallon over 573 miles.
Pretty
what
good.
I liked about it, power, baby. Dang, lots of power. What could use improvement? How about more horsepower? That's what you get when you get the 63 version. That's a V8 with 603 horsepower.
Twin turbo.
Ride and handling, Love that air suspension. It's operated from the steering wheel, and it really makes the vehicle. Of course, you're paying for this. Base trim price on this vehicle is $76,500. Prices tested, $92,735.
And they'll sell every one they build because it says AMG on it.
Exactly.
Base model price, $76,500, just like the base trim price. Competitors. Well, I had to kind of drill down to figure out what would be a competitor. How about the Porsche Cayenne Coupe? You mentioned the fact that that's where the word came from. It's not a coupe, it's a four-door. $82,420 is the starting price for that. BMW X5, $59,400, and the Maserati Levante starts at $77,500. Now, as far as the destination charge, here on this on the Mercedes-Benz AMG a GLE 53 Coupe, destination and delivery $995.
That's not bad at all compared to what we just talked about.
And you talked about the BMW having it delivered at the plant, the factory in Germany.
European delivery.
You still got to get it to the U.S.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, so there's
I don't know why you would do that, but
because you can.
Just take the bridge.
All right. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio, iHeart Podcasts, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon, and Podcast Addict. In Wheel Time Car Show will continue right after these brief messages.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, March 20th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods, all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, March 20th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, March 20th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, this is the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Howdy along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong and Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Our guest right now is Mr. Brad Thompson, and he is with God's Garage. Good morning, Brad. How are you, brother?
Good morning, guys. Good. I hope you like this backdrop, Don. I did this just for you.
Oh, my gosh. I'll be right over. Just give me the address. Just shoot it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love the wheels.
Yeah, I do, too.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that is a beautiful C8 Corvette. Am I correct?
No, it's a C7.
No, that's a C7.
C7, okay.
2017 Grand Sport.
Oh, my gosh. Well, it's beautiful with some aftermarket wheels on it. Is that your car?
Yeah, this is my car. I'm as soon as we get done, I'm heading up to Eagles Canyon Raceway to do a track day with it. And I want you to know I decided to do only a single day track day so I could be on your show.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, we really do appreciate that.
We'll take that.
Yeah. You know, we wanted to talk to you today, Brad, about the God's Garage and what God's Garage does. Now, I understand that you guys are based up in Conroe, correct?
Yes, sir, we are. We've got 13 acres that we just bought a couple years ago just on the east side of downtown Conroe.
Yeah. Well, what a great thing, and everybody's going to learn about it right now because I want you to tell. Now, this is a nonprofit garage,
right,
if you can understand that. So tell us, Brad, exactly what it is that you do and how special you are to the families that you help.
Yeah, great. I appreciate you guys having us on. So God's Garage was started about the time you started your podcast, about 10 years ago.
Yep.
We actually incorporated into a 501c3 about 6 years ago. And what we do is we take donated vehicles, running or not. We fix them if we can. If we can't, we salvage them and we use the money from that. But we repair these vehicles, get them very roadworthy, and then we actually just give them to single moms, military wives of deployed military, and widows. So we are a ministry. We don't generate any revenue from the car repairs we do. We actually will fix cars for the same single moms and the needy women out there. We'll fix cars for them, but we do it by appointment only. They have to go through our process, but we will fix them for the wholesale cost of the parts. So all of our labor is free.
And you don't do this by yourself, don't you? Have a bunch of guys that help you out?
No, Mike. See, look at my fingernails. I don't do any of that. We have a whole host of volunteers that without them, there's no way we could do what we do. We have some really neat guys that are just some of them were shade tree mechanics. Some of them were actually certified mechanics. We're about to build a 6-bay garage. We have about 2 bays right now, so we're very crunched on capacity of getting these cars repaired and getting them given away. But man, our volunteers drive our trucks and trailers all over the town. People may have seen them picking up vehicles, and then we do the best we can to get these things really clean and roadworthy.
So how do you select, or are they selected for you, the recipients of these cars?
Well, thanks to you guys, we'll probably get 100 more applicants today. So you just never know. But they apply online. They hear about us just through word of mouth. We have some billboards around town, shows like yours, and they actually have to qualify. We have some qualifications that we try to stay very closely to because our waiting list is really hard for us to keep up with right now. So they have to be a single mom, which means they have to have children. They have to be a wife of a deployed military person, or they have to be a widow. And then we have limitations on what their income can be and things like that, just so we know we're really grabbing the people who are really in need.
We posted your your website on our Facebook page as well, so we're trying to drive both sides of this. Applications for cars, but also you take cars in donation to turn around to give to those applicants. So how can people donate their car to you?
They can get online and do the same thing. We have a form online, so godsgarage.org, and thanks for putting that out there. Same thing as the women who want to become recipients. We have forms online. They can get on there and click it. Usually within 24 hours or one business day, you'll get a phone call from one of us, and we'll arrange a pickup time, and we'll come pick it up. As long as it's within 50 to 75 miles of Conroe, once we start going beyond that, we actually do have a national service that'll pick up vehicles for us. But the ones outside of our area, we won't bring them all the way back here. We'll actually turn those into revenue and use that money to fix other cars.
So, Brad, I want you to give me an example of a person that is going to be getting a car from you, and then go through the car process. What kind of car did you give to them, and the condition that you got it, and what you did to it? Run us through the whole process, if you will.
Okay, well, we'll start with the applicant side. So the ladies get online, they fill out an application, we call them, we vet them. And what we find out is, man, some of these women are in really tough situations.
Right.
And if you could imagine living anywhere in the Houston area without a car, what you would not be able to do, or how difficult it would be to go to the grocery store.
Right.
I mean, just something as simple as that. We kind of, we don't have 2.5 kids, but our average is 2.5 kids for every mom. So for the 600 moms we've given, or wives or deployed military, we've given vehicles to over the life of our ministry, you can figure we affected about 2,000 kids.
Sure.
So there's, just the way this started actually was a mom was walking home from church at night down the shoulder of 105 in the rain. And our founder, who has kind of moved on to do other things, but our founder just saw that and just had a heart for it and said, you know what? I got to at least stop and get her off the highway. So he got her off the highway, found out that her vehicle had been sitting at a shop because she couldn't afford the repairs. So he went and paid for the repairs on that one. And then he started this in his own garage up here in Conroe. Wow. And then we've just continued to grow. But the stories we hear are touching and heart-wrenching. And
so give me one of the stories. Tell me about somebody that just in the past month or so that you have helped.
So we had a lady who lost her job. I mean, it's COVID really messed a lot of people up with their employment. So we had a lady who lost her job. She got evicted. She was living out of her car. The car she had quit running. So she came to us for repairs, and we figured out there's no way we could help her with this. So we actually took her vehicle in and gave her another one that was a minivan. She ended up being homeless. So we ended up partnering with some of the other ministries up here to help find her a place to to at least live for a period of time.
Right.
But she was living through, a colder time in a vehicle that actually wouldn't run. And she somehow got it started and got it up there to Conroe enough to us that we could change it over. But that's one of the more dramatic ones, I would say. But, there's been plenty of them that through really no fault of their own, just through life circumstances, they find themselves without a vehicle. They lose their jobs and they can't pay for one. So when we give them one, there's no payments. They're done. They own it.
What a wonderful story that is. What kind of a car did she, are these like, 20-year-old cars, 10-year-old cars? Does it vary?
Yeah, absolutely. So we try not to give them anything over 20 years because once you kind of get to the 20-year mark, there's just so many unpredictable things that can happen that might check out fine when we do the initial evaluation. But, we'll get a call a week later and say, hey, the transmission went. So we try to give them anything. It's usually anywhere between 10 years old and 18 years old is probably a really sweet spot for what we take in and what we give away.
Right.
Obviously, the newer, the better, the more in running condition, the better. We do also have a lot of local partners that are true for-profit auto repair shops who will actually, maybe once a month or once every other month, they'll fix a vehicle for us for free. So we actually send some of the more difficult ones to them because we don't have the ability to put one up on a rack and drop an engine or pull an engine and put it up on a rack and have it sit in a spot for a period of time. We have to keep things rolling.
Do you actually do engine overhauls? I mean, if it seems to me like if it gets to that point, that it'd probably be easiest if you just flip that and got one that you could at least repair the engine.
Yeah, you're spot on. So if we can't fix it for about $1,000 or less, generally the revenue we can get from a salvage or a sale or something like that will fix 3 other cars for us. So we don't typically mess with the full, engine transmission issues, but man, we have sledgehammers and we can beat the heck out of a ball joint. So
if anybody has ever seen the guys on Motor Trend, the Hot Rod Garage guys, I mean, they go out to a salvage yard and get something. Yeah, roadkill. That the thing isn't run in 20 years, and that it's been sitting out there for probably 15 of that, and they get those things to run. So it doesn't really take a whole lot, generally speaking, to get them to run.
So
yeah, that's. Oh, I'm sorry, Conrad. Go ahead.
Well, you talk about people donating cars in that range, and you take care of delivering vehicles to the needs of single moms. Can people also make a cash donation through your website if they just want to?
No, we don't take anybody's cash. Of course, they can make a cash donation.
I'm trying to throw that softball to you.
I mean, come on, we're a nonprofit. Yeah, we take cash.
Take cash, credit card, anything.
Which that you'll spend on fixing some of these donated vehicles. So even if you don't have a vehicle to donate, but you're so moved that you want to give some money to the cause, you can jump on our Facebook page or godsgarage.org and make a donation in that vein as well, and follow them and see what they're doing, because it's a great cause. What you guys are doing is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, cash is always good. We're getting ready to build a building. We're losing our existing building because Highway 105 is going to expand on the east side of Conroe. So
okay.
We're right in the throes of starting to build a building, which is really exciting for us. We're at a really neat place in the ministry. We, other than COVID, I mean, we were on target to give away over 200 vehicles last year. So this isn't a small operation, but we're very scalable. We only have 3 full-time employees, and then everything else. I'm on the board, and our board is very much a working, active board. We have terrific people on our board.
Well, it's truly a wonderful organization. I know that you guys were out at Houston Motorsports Park last year for a giveaway, and that actually didn't quite happen the way that it was supposed to. But I got a taste of what they do, and they brought the car out there on a trailer, and we were going to go through the whole rigmarole, and it just didn't work out. We'll hopefully have you back again this year, because what a great ministry really is what it is, to be able to take a car and turn it to somebody who is truly needy. Right. You think of resale shops a lot, and you clean out a closet and you take all of your clothes or whatever it is that you're going to donate to a resale shop, but you never really think about an automobile and that people are in need of automobiles
all the time.
And let's face it, I mean, Houston, as big as it is not one of those cities that's really good on public transportation.
No.
And to be able to take a bus from point A to point B
doesn't happen.
And these days, it just doesn't happen for anybody. And so this is a great service that you're doing, and we certainly really appreciate you. And I know that all of our listeners and viewers do as well. And if there's ever anything that we can do to help you, we got your back over here, if you will.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate that. I mean, obviously, your audience, a lot of car guys. So anybody that's up on the north side who wants to come work on a car, and come on, we could always use the help.
Well, we appreciate it. We're going to let you get on the road to get to your racing event. Where are you going?
I'm going to Eagles Canyon Raceway, which is north of Denton up in Decatur. An organization that does track days. I've had this thing on Circuit of the Americas and the old Texas World Speedway. I got to do the last track day at TWS before they shut that place down. So it's just something I get to do every now and again. We are a bunch of car folks over there, but man, if you ever come be part of a giveaway, bring your Kleenex, because boy, it's a touching thing to see the impact it makes on these ladies' lives.
Well, we love you, man, and thank you so much for joining us today. God's Garage, Brad Thompson. Thanks again. We'll talk to you again soon.
Have a great one.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Travel safe.
Okay, it's always good to kind of pass things along like that. Thought that everybody
great cause.
Yeah, thank you, Mike, for lining that up. That was good. What is this?
Auto history.
Ainsley is at Concours d'Elegance at Kima Porsche competition.
Oh, so David Ainsley is at the Porsche Concours d'Elegance.
It's a Porsche event?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just strictly Porsche's, I think, the way he said it, Porsche competition.
Is he there with Ryan?
No, Ryan's probably working. David probably wants to have a Porsche. Well,
trade in his Suburban for a Porsche.
Yeah, the company Suburban.
Suburban.
That sounds like something that you would do.
No, I wouldn't. I can't trade in my vans.
His is in a body shop.
Yeah, mine's still.
We could. I'm thinking maybe we could turn, one of the vans into a race van.
That'll work for me.
It's been there so long, we could do a remote from the body shop.
Oh, gosh.
It's been in the shop so long.
Yeah. It's been in the shop probably going to be, by the time this is over, 6 months. Because it was almost 4 months
for the engine blow up,
trying to get the engine done, and now we're pushing.
How did that work out for you for the Ford engine?
Perfect
Ford,
so far.
Well, but Ford didn't fix it. Correct. Yeah, who fixed the engine?
What are you beating down over there?
Well, the Ford dealer put a new engine in it, but I got some coverage from the protection plan, as well as we paid cash. We paid cash for the rest of it.
Oh my God!
So and then the dent, they're fixing the dent, and then
that wasn't a dent. This is a separate situation. Yeah. That's a separate situation when he got broadsided up on Highway 6.
Right. Okay. I was being
from
somebody kind.
Somebody running a stop sign.
I was being kind. And then when you get it out, will it run?
Yeah. Yeah, it should.
It should. So. Yeah. So how is the body work coming on this?
Right now, it has a hole in the side of it that's about the size of a
car.
Of a car, because they just cut the whole side of it off, and then they ordered. The insurance company wanted to use LKQ parts, like kind and quality parts,
right? Which is salvage,
aftermarket.
Right. So they had to find a transit van, my height transit van that was damaged, but not in the area they needed the parts for, and that took a while.
I was just going to say, did they find something?
They did, and then as they cut it off, they destroyed it. So when it showed up at the body shop, they said, we can't use it. So they waited on another one, and that didn't happen. So then they ordered it. I called the insurance company and fussed at them and said, look, I want OEM parts. I'm tired of waiting this long. I'm saving you money because you're not buying me a rent car while we're doing this. So they ordered in OEM parts, and it shows up in this big, huge box. And the guy at the body shop says, and you can see tire tracks right over the middle of the box. And I'm like, seriously?
Are you serious? And somebody ran over it.
So
how do you run over something like that?
When they opened the box up, it was just flattened out because somebody literally drove over the top of it. So they had to order another one. And
Oh,
I mean,
my
we're
God.
talking a box that's the size of a grand piano.
I just got or bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
flat, so it's easy
and
to
it's
run over.
What? So what was it in a wooden box?
No,
Cardboard.
just cardboard box, and the it's just a big piece of sheet metal, but it's got
All the bracing in it.
no, there
It's
isn't
all
any bracing in
cardboard.
it. Yeah, it's all cardboard.
I've seen
it's
some
trying
of
to
those.
suspend
I've had
within
some stuff come in.
cardboard. So it's a pretty flimsy piece of sheet metal, though it's got grooves and stuff molded into it or bent into it.
For a
but
trans van, so it's nondescript. Yeah.
a trans van, yes. I
Well,
won't go there.
Yes, you realize
So
that.
now,
never mind, that's
now
not
the
so.
car is sitting there with the side off of it. The parts are there. They're making sure that the hole in the side of the van and the piece of metal they're going to put up are
Has
the
all
same
of this
size.
been worth it?
Put you a lunch window in there. And
There you go.
Kinda do some
Just
slide.
we
Yeah,
get a
just
food
leave
truck.
it open. I'll turn it into a
You sell hot dogs.
Into
Sell
a
hot dogs
selling
out of
hot
it.
dogs.
Yeah.
Then Don can get his hot dog.
There you go. Be right out here by the studio.
That is the most incredible. If you knew what all you'd have to go through, would you have done this again the same way? I would have said, "See you later."
I'd have just got rid of the van back in June when it popped the motor. But those are the things that
Things you
happen.
don't know.
Yeah.
You really don't know.
Yikes! Well, I found out as I took the car over to John Gray over at Gulf Coast Auto Shield to get the bird poop stains fixed
This is
on
the
paint.
Corvette
The
that we talked
Corvette,
about.
yes. My Corvette.
Yeah,
the
let's be clear. We're not taking bird poop off my van. We're taking bird poop off of Don's black Corvette.
Yeah, and
because
so-
Don parks it under a tree and lets the birds poop
No,
on it.
that's not true.
Send your comments to info@inwheeltime.com.
That is not true.
Birds didn't
We don't
poop on
tell
it?
lies on this show.
Birds didn't
Thank you
poop on
very
it?
much,
Yes, we
Joe
do.
Biden.
Did birds poop on it?
Yeah,
Where?
all over it.
Oh, I mean, where was it parked?
Right out there.
Okay. So I didn't tell a lie.
No, you didn't actually. So I brought it home. Opened the hood because I have to put the battery
Right.
tender on it and all of that. Well, it got to be dark outside, so I thought, well, I'll just leave it out there with the hood open and all of that.
A nice evening.
I get up the next morning
And the chickens had come home to roost.
in that tree.
Pooped all over your car.
In that tree.
The pigeons had,
and
anyway.
they had eaten berries all day. So it was berry-laden poop all over the car. So I
What kind of berries were they,
I
Don?
don't know. Blueberries or blackberries or something.
Poop berries.
Poop berries. And I went out.
It's a new cereal. Instead of Count Chocula, Count Poopula.
Exactly. Oh, my
my
God.
God.
So I washed it
Jack's
all off,
gonna
and I
hang
thought,
up.
that's not coming off. I mean, it came off, but it was stained.
It etches the
Yeah.
clear coat
It does.
because
Yeah.
it's very acidic, especially if there's the fruit in it.
So I thought, well, I don't have any choice. Hello, John. Yeah, so I took it down there, and come to find out now the turn signals don't work.
Oh, wow.
Well, you never used them anyway.
He thought he owned a BMW.
He's a wannabe BMW driver. So he's just-
poor knee rads out there in California listening
he's
to
going to
this.
hang up on us here in a minute.
These guys are nuts.
Let us do This Week in Auto History.
Okay, so in 1903, Alexander Winton, driving the Winton Bullet, and you're going to see a picture of it here, set a speed record achieved at Daytona Beach.
It's coming.
In
There you
this, he went over 65 miles an hour, if we can ever get the picture up.
It's up. Oh,
Is it?
It's
There
up
we
on
go.
my side.
He went 65 miles an hour on Daytona Beach with this without seatbelts.
Without any seatbelts.
Henry Ford hired John. Okay.
What are we doing, Jeff?
It's working.
Henry Ford
No, it's
hired
not.
John and Horace Dodge to supply chassis and running gears for his automobiles. John and Horace began their business careers as bicycle manufacturers back in the 1890s.
What is Horace? Would you shorten the name Horace?
I have no idea.
Horatio.
But Horatio.
Bob.
Thank you.
Just call him Bob.
Ho.
They first entered the automobile industry as manufacturers of auto parts in 1901. They actually manufactured car bodies for Henry Ford and Ransom Eli Oldsmobile. Or Ransom Eli Olds.
You had to throw it in there.
And the Dodge brothers later became the largest parts manufacturing firm in the United States by 1910.
There's Jeff's car.
And then in 1908, at the Brooklands track in Weybridge, England, a standardization test, and hold here, Jeff, of 3 random Cadillacs were sent. And this test was, send us 3 cars. We're going to disassemble all 3 cars and throw it all in a pile and reassemble all 3 cars from intermingling the parts of each different one, which is pretty important back then when you talk about hand-building cars. And they did, and everything worked fine. So it kind of proved the quality standard of Cadillac, talking about how these 1907 Model Ks were used in this test to disassemble and reassemble them, and talk about the standard of the world, which is where that phraseology came from with Cadillac.
From the K, you graduated into a V.
Graduated into a V, okay. In 1925, next picture, 1925, the National Highway Numbering System was instituted by the federal government, and this was the original sign, was the shield with the highway number on it. I went a little fast.
What is the what?
I don't know. This thing's just get a little crazy.
Well, we're going to sit here silently and wait for that to come up.
This is the original highway signage used, and then later in the 50s, when the interstate highway system went up, it advanced from there with the colors, the blue, red, white, and blue signs that are out there.
And I want you to know the one there in the center that has the looks
reflective,
like the reflective
glass.
Yeah, Craig has got one that he bought that's like that.
He bought or he stole?
No,
he just took it off the highway somewhere.
He bought it because they haven't made those in years.
Is that the guy that designed it?
It seems like it. No, that's
Don Armstrong
the highway
in the bathtub.
I actually found this picture. It's the Highway 66 Museum in Clinton, Oklahoma, of all places. Don't ask me why. In 1935, the Pontiac Indian Maiden mascot was patented by the designers and at General Motors, and the Indian Maiden was the male warrior chief of the Ottawa tribe, who distinguished himself for his bravery fighting during the English.
I think that they need to change the name of that sound.
Yeah,
Ottawa.
that is going to change. I'm sure some politically correct person is going to make them drop that. The first Ford-produced general-purpose vehicle rolled off the assembly line in 1941 in Dearborn, Michigan. Ford built 277 Jeeps during World War II. Now, one of the things you'll notice is what varies on this versus today's Jeep.
Well, that doesn't have a 7-slot grill.
It's got an 8-slot grill, and that's one of the differentiations that you can tell when it's a Ford-built Jeep. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. And then in 1973, Honda Civic was introduced to the United States in both a 4-door and a 2-door. Now, this car today would be considered a mini car by comparison. The Civic is, bigger than the Accord was back in the day.
Yeah.
So even that in a 2-door, you can advance, Jeff, even that in a 2-door. So that's this week in automotive history.
I remember how popular those were.
Is there one more picture? Earl Scheib in 1992 passed away. But if you all remember, I'll paint any car, any color for $29.95. And
includes wheels, door jambs, and everything. Just paint it all.
Glass. Including the glass. Yes, exactly. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Time now for a couple of headlines in the news this week. General Motors said on Wednesday it was further extending production cuts at 3 North American plants and adding a 4th to the list of factories hit by the global semiconductor chip shortage. Meanwhile, GM competitor Stellantis on Wednesday did not give an estimate for the financial hit it expects this year from the shortage and said the issue could last into the second half of 2021. Consumers have stocked up on laptops, gaming consoles, and other electronic products during the pandemic, leading to tight chip supplies.
It's easy for you to say.
You better be careful there.
Yeah.
They also bought more cars than industry officials expected last spring, further straining the supplies. Ford Motor Company ate into Tesla's share of the electric vehicle market in February, but it's taking longer than expected to deliver some Mustang Mach-E crossovers. Ford is compensating for the delays by doubling thousands of owners' free charging allotment and covering a few hundred buyers' first payment. The automaker sent a letter Tuesday to some 4,500 Mach-E buyers informing them of the delay as their electric crossovers undergo additional quality checks. Why? They're not saying. Ford said the buyers would receive an extra 250 kilowatt hours of free charging for their trouble. Mm-hmm. Additionally, Ford said it would cover the first month's payment of up to $1,000 for 250 owners. Ford spokeswoman declined to discuss the reason for the delay, but said the company hoped to deliver the vehicles before the 30-day time frame was up.
If I had a car note of $1,000, I would die.
Ford also introduced the first ever Explorer King Ranch luxury package available in their midsize SUV.
Okay. Quick break now. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Show. We've got more of our show coming right up. Stay with us.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, March 20th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods, all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, March 20th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in, March 20th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@nwheeltime.com. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Coming up, we talk to noted automotive journalist and host of the On Road podcast from the left coast, Mr. Jack Nerad. Jeff's going to review our pre-owned car of the week, the 2017 Buick Regal. We'll take a look at some of the upcoming racing events you might be interested in, plus Conrad's Car Clinic and the stories making auto news headlines. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, March 6th, 2021. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin back there in the corner where he belongs. I'm Don Armstrong, and thank you very much for joining us today. We truly appreciate you getting up on a Saturday morning. It's beautiful outside.
It is beautiful. I wanted to mention one comment that we had come up from one of our regular listeners who's listening on the show today, and he was talking about the Mach-E.
Yes.
And the 240 whatever, and the 1 month payment.
Uh-huh.
It's still less than the destination charge.
It is less than the destination charge. We had a big conversation about destination charges with the Consumer Reports guy, and we're all getting ripped off. So just wanted to make you feel really good on a Saturday morning. Speaking of feeling good, here he is from the left coast of the United States of America, our man about town, Mr. Jack Nerad. Jack, it's always a pleasure to see you. I can't believe that you're up at this hour of the morning. It's 8 o'clock out there.
Yeah, 8 a.m. and I'm choking. I'm so choked up to be with you guys. That's exciting.
I'll bet you are.
He's going, what am I wasting my time talking to these guys for?
Not true at all. I really look forward to this. And we do this about once a month, and it's a blast.
Well, thank you, because we enjoy talking to you, too. What's going on out there? Do you still have a governor?
Not for long,
have you fallen into the ocean yet, or what's going on?
Well, we're to the point where I have no mask mandate. We're supposed to wear your masks too. So we're supposed to wear 2 masks.
We'll send you ours. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the latest.
Well, the good news is California is not on fire anymore, and now you're not flooding anymore. So there's lots of good things going on.
Yeah, apparently so. Including
we actually had some rain. We had not had rain for 6 weeks or something like that in Southern California. I know rain isn't a problem in Houston.
No, never is.
Texas, but it can be a problem in Southern California.
So I have to ask you before we get started today, what are you driving this week? What is your car of the week?
I've got 2 really cool cars out front, both red. It's red car at Nerad's house this week. I have a Dodge Charger Hellcat Red Eye.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, out front. And then I've got the Mazda 3 with the turbo. So, that can kind of fit in the trunk of the
the Charger,
Hellcat, but of the Charger.
So let me ask you this: have you lit up the back tires on the Hellcat yet?
I have not done it yet. I mean, I live in a town where would I do that? It would be reported. There would be video of it. There would be hell to pay.
Before the smoke even cleared.
All the snowflakes would melt.
Yeah, exactly. And we got plenty of them. I mean, they're everywhere out there. They're all carrying cell phones, and they're all wanting to record everything bad that happens.
Yeah,
when I walk around outside without a mask on, I'm sure I'm on TV.
Oh, gosh.
This thought just crossed my mind. I thought, if they still had the match game with Gene Rayburn, you would have been the perfect candidate to be up there on the dais with your comments and your good looks out there in California. So
I kind of feel like I'm the Charles Nelson Riley of
yes.
Right?
Well, I didn't want to go there, but that's exactly what I thought.
That's Hollywood Squares.
Yeah, Center Square.
No, that's Match Game. But he appeared on Hollywood Squares. But any of those kind of celebrity kind of game shows, he'd be a great.
It's a California thing.
It is a California thing.
Yeah, I'm the most minor of celebrities, so I would fit right in.
Well, we love having you on. So what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I thought maybe we'd talk about EVs. I mean, you kind of got it started with Mustang Mach-E, but there's a lot of EV news this week.
Oh my God!
And you can't get away from it. One of the interesting things about EV news is there's so many performance EVs being talked about, and certainly electrified cars. I wrote a piece this week about Mercedes-Benz, Mercedes-AMG, and their new e-performance line, which is taking technology that they use in Formula One and throwing it into some of the hybrid vehicles that AMG is going to do. I have to wonder whether that's kind of a ploy to make those things okay. It's like, okay, it's 1,000 horsepower, but it's a hybrid, so it's kinder and gentler. I'm not sure about that, but I think that's a pretty exciting development that we've seen. And of course, Volvo had this giant press conference. I was lucky enough. My time zone just doesn't work with other people. And so I was up at 5 in the morning, I think on Tuesday morning, to watch a Volvo press conference from Gothenburg, Sweden. And it was kind of crazy.
That's pretty early.
Gotham, Sweden?
Gothenburg, Sweden, yeah.
Gothenburg.
The home of Volvo. And they did a global press conference announcing not only a new car, pretty cool car, I guess, the C40, kind of one of those four-door coupe kind of things, but this all-electric, the C40 Recharge. And then they announced that all of their electric cars going forward would be sold online only. And I could just hear the Volvo dealers going, "What?"
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. They say that the Volvo dealers are totally on board with this.
Sure.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. That's what you would say is it. And for one thing, in a lot of there's the potential this is even illegal, because
different
a
states.
manufacturer distributor cannot set a retail price. So if they're going to do one price online, that's problematic.
Yeah, because that becomes price fixing, and it's an issue here in Texas because the manufacturer is not allowed direct sales to consumers in the state of Texas from the TADA, which is one of the reasons Tesla has their issues here in the state as well. So it'd be fun to see how they circumvent all of that, much less the dealer who spent $15 million building that single-line Volvo facility to sell their product. That's going to be...
Absolutely. I mean, that's the reason there are franchise laws. I was talking with a colleague about this, and, he's kind of an anti-dealer guy, and I'm on the other side of that fence. And the typical dealer invests a huge amount of money in a brand, and the brand benefits immensely from that. So to throw that all away, I think is very pointless. And I think Tesla has really suffered from that. They've had to put together, among a million other things they've had to do, they've had to put together an entire retail and service network. And it's not easy to do, and it takes giant investment.
Well, yeah, particularly whenever you don't want to have that big store presence in that big footprint.
So, Jack, the other thing here that while we're talking about electric vehicles, and this has been really something that I've had an issue with, and I think that
here we go.
I think that a lot of other people that are going to buy EVs are going to realize once they have it is the infrastructure in the United States of America is not there for everybody to get on board an EV. And I say this I say this because we just got through with an ice storm and a major power outage across the state of Texas. Well, what the hell do you do then?
Well, California being such a big proponent of EVs, heck, you guys were going through brownouts this summer because you didn't have enough electricity. It's kind of, they're fighting themselves on this.
So what are we going to do to charge the car when you got a brownout and you're now stuck between, Sacramento and San Jose?
Yeah, well, you're in real trouble if that's where you're stuck, because it's not a great place to be stuck. But I'll tell you, there's no...
Yeah, it's called
There's
Oakland.
really no solution to that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of issues. We recently had a guy named Bill Lowenthal on the America on the Road podcast talking about, he works for ChargePoint. He is the head of product for ChargePoint. And ChargePoint is a major global charger of electric vehicles. They facilitate electric vehicle charging. They do it in a lot of places. There are a lot of places you can charge vehicles, and it's very, very convenient when you find these places. But the other situation is you have to charge them for a period of time, right? It's not just like gas and go.
Right.
5 minutes at the gas pump and off you go, and you have another 400, 500 miles of range. So there's several issues that still are revolving around electric vehicles. They're not as convenient. They're just not as convenient as gasoline or diesel-powered cars, given our circumstances.
I was at a Home Depot. I took a picture of it. I'll put it up on our Facebook page. I was at a Home Depot in Fresno, California, and here they offer, there's like 6 electric charging stations to park your vehicle, and kind of like a little parking meter out front that you use to plug into your car. And in the 7th parking space was a diesel generator that
Right.
that was creating the power for those 6 charging stations. I was like, seriously?
What's the purpose?
Seriously. Well, the purpose is to be
It's to get the people in the store to
clean,
spend money.
there's this whole clean drive of everything. But as we talked earlier about the shortage of foam for seats, too much stuff comes through the petrochemical industry in the automobile world to shut it all down.
Yeah, but it's one fossil fuel generator for those 6 EV chargers. Is what it breaks down.
Okay. So Jack, you and I both know, well, most people do that are into cars, that every single current manufacturer of vehicles has got a huge I can't even begin to tell you how huge it is. Investment into building, creating, making, and turning out electric vehicles. And there is still no proof in the pudding that we're all going to buy all of these electric vehicles. Not only that, but now you've got manufacturers that have never existed before that are going to be building EVs. So there's even going to be more competition. Matter of fact, I read a story online this morning that Tesla stock is down, and Tesla is beginning to hurt a little bit when it comes to sales, and they've lowered their prices on several of their models. So how is this all going to play out?
Well, it's such a fascinating question, Don, because I don't think anybody knows. A lot of manufacturers, as you mentioned, conventional manufacturers and startups are jumping into the electric vehicle industry. The people who are lagging behind are the consumers. There isn't a groundswell of support. I saw a J.D. Power study very recently and about this, and at best, people are lukewarm about EVs.
Correct.
And when you're asked in a survey, would you consider an EV? I think a lot of people will check, yeah, okay. That doesn't mean they're going to buy one.
Yeah,
right?
I'll think about it, yeah.
I'm willing to consider it, right? It seems like a forward-thinking thing to do, to consider it. But if you convert 10% of those people or 5% of those people to EV buyers, I don't think you've got the market to support all the EVs that are coming to market in the next several years. And I think what manufacturers are doing is, covering their rear ends by having EVs, by pointing to the fact that, oh, yes, we can go EV. And I think one of the things they're covering for is if there are governmental regulations that make it almost mandatory to buy an EV. I think that's what would move EVs forward. And, that's, I think, what all of us who are car guys are fearful of.
Well, I think you're right because, you see people like Volvo say we're not going to build anything but an EV, and GM and other people are making these statements that we're going to phase out conventional combustion engines in vehicles. It's not the consumer driving this. There's some other force. Maybe it's worrying about the political scenario or something that's coming up there, but it's not consumers saying, I demand that you sell me this. We're not asking for it. And that's the weird part about this whole scenario is they're not building products people want to buy. They're going to try and make people buy them because they don't have any other choice, is the way it appears to me.
And then
that just doesn't work in the market, does it?
Not in what we think of as a market.
And a lot of the issues with EVs is, Don and his range anxiety is driven around batteries. So you just saw General Motors this week or last week announced $10 billion investment in a battery plant in the old Spring Hill Saturn assembly facility. So it's going to be interesting to see how they build and grow the infrastructure for EV cars and spend billions of dollars doing it when they still don't have the consumer demand. How is that
right? Yeah,
going to
General
crash?
Motors is really doubling down big time on EVs. Of course, we've seen Ford doing what they're doing with Mach-E. We're seeing a lot of EVs, of course, from Volkswagen. Volkswagen has kind of vowed to go all EV, and Volvo is going to be all EV, according to them, in 9 years. 9 years.
Yeah.
That's 2 cycles of a vehicle, right? I mean.
Yeah, and I'm planning on still be driving in 9 years, so
and I'm planning on still driving my gasoline-powered cars.
Exactly.
In 9 years from now.
And then you have the leader in the EV industry, Elon Musk, with Tesla, is saying the infrastructure to charge is not there. And they're not doing anything to grow that infrastructure. Charging stations are there, but the delivery of the necessary electricity isn't. So that's going to have to come as well.
Yeah, and it's at-home charging is a big issue because people who buy EVs tend to cluster together, right? I mean, people buy
like-minded things.
Yeah. We see this everywhere. And what that does is it puts a giant pressure on the electrical grid in those cities. And a lot of times the electrical grid was built 100 years ago.
Sure.
150 years ago. And it hasn't been upgraded much because it hasn't needed to be over the course of that time. So suddenly you have much greater demand for electricity just to charge cars overnight, and it doesn't exist.
Well, the other thing is, in that vein, is the fact that, for instance, you and I and Mr. Mars over here, we get press vehicles. I had a Kia Niro a few months ago. Okay, so in the back, in the trunk area, they had thrown in a 110-volt charger that I could plug in here at the house.
For 16
Do you
hours.
know how long it takes to charge a battery on a 110-volt? It takes forever. It would take like 4 days for it to fully charge. So how are they going to handle the press? They're going to come to my house and install some 220-volt charger out there? I don't think so.
They're actually talking about doing that. I've heard that floated out there because we're in that situation where if we're going to be testing, I test a new vehicle each week. If we're going to be testing a lot of electric vehicles and we're going to drive them for more than 100, 150 miles over the course of that week, we're going to have some kind of situation.
Well, we are because, like you said, I got a one that I just got out of that I had it for a week. It showed up. It wasn't charged because of the mileage to get down here to me. So I put it on to charge. Well, 9 hours later, I was at 75%. I could go 15 miles on the electrical. It was a hybrid, so, it wasn't that big a deal, but it was that kind of time frame to go 15 miles.
Well, I think that what they'll actually have to do is give us a card to go to an EV, like an EV Go station.
With a 220 or 440.
With a 220 or 440 charge up there, so I can go and spend 30 minutes at the Whole Foods lot that I never go to, so get the car charged in a decent amount of time. But decent is, I guess, a relative thing.
Well,
I live pretty close to a supercharger, Tesla supercharger station set up because I live near the fabled 405 freeway here in Southern California. And all I see are people sitting in the parking lot on their phones or, fooling with a laptop or something like that. I don't want to spend my life spending 40 minutes, an hour and a half sitting in a parking lot waiting for my car to charge. It's not appealing to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think that I'll just go ahead and take those Hellcat chargers that get about 10 miles to the gallon any day. Thank you very much.
Well, and our social media, the conversation on our social media right now is, think about back in the 1900s when gasoline cars were all the rage and everybody was still in horse and buggies. Now we're talking about the combustion engine going away and EVs being the new rage, and we're still living in the horse and buggy. So, there's kind of two sides to see this, but I'd still rather pour gas in my car.
And you were stating that in 9 years it's going to be all electric, for the vehicles. I don't think I'm going to have a license in 9 years. I think they'll probably pull mine.
Yeah.
Won't let me drive.
We're ready to pull it now, actually.
Yeah.
Your license, anyway.
If they would just answer the emails, we'd take care of that.
Yeah.
But you've got a huge electric population out there in California, and you probably see way more of it than we do here in Texas. There's some
Absolutely.
in Texas.
Most of the electric vehicles sold in the United States are sold in California. The majority are sold in California. So we have them all over the place. They're all over the area in which I live, that's for certain. And there's certainly pluses to electric vehicles. They're smooth, they're quiet. They sneak up on me when I'm walking the dog. And I don't hear them coming up behind me. There's a lot to say for them. There's good performance too. But people buy cars for that occasional thing they do. They don't just buy them for what they do every day or every week, right? And so if you want to go 600 or 700 miles, it's a major hassle in an electric vehicle, and it's not a hassle at all in a gasoline-powered vehicle.
You're absolutely right. My wife drives a Sorento, and we had one come through the press fleet, and it was a hybrid. And I was telling her, they make an electric vehicle, and no more than you drive, it would work perfect, except for whenever you want to go down to the beach, which is 100 miles away. And she said,
go to Oklahoma.
If I can't do that at least twice a year, I don't want that car. Because you're right. That very thing is what dictated what she wanted in the capabilities of that car. That and cup holders.
And cup holders.
Yeah. And a place to put your purse. Jack, we love talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. As always, it's a pleasure talking to you. Please hold down the fort out there in California and don't send us any bad weather.
It's a tough battle out here sometimes.
We know. Well, next time you're in Houston, you got to be sure and stop by, okay?
I'd love that.
Thank you.
Thank you,
guys
sir.
Take care.
Jack Nerad. He is the heralded automotive author and host of America on the Road podcast. Look him up. Great guy, and really knows his stuff about cars. We've had a long relationship with him over the years, and it's always a pleasure to talk to him.
He is our Paul Lynn.
Paul Lynn.
Paul Lynn. I would think more of Charles Nelson, Ryan.
Charles Nelson. Oh, gosh.
All right, time now for the racing calendar, and I know that we're cranking it up. I saw the truck race last night on TV.
It's getting started, and we're actually into race 4 of the NASCAR season, and tomorrow they're going to be at Las Vegas. But the World Door Slammers Nationals started Thursday.
Drag racing
with not qualifying, but qualifying on Thursday. Erica Enders is there along with a whole big collection of Pro Stock NHRA guys. Four-time World Championship Pro Stock driver. And she went 6:53, which is lightning fast for right off the truck, first pass of the year.
211 miles an hour.
Yeah. So, when you're talking about, the records like 6:48 or something like that. So she's super fast. And then, so next weekend is Phoenix. For NASCAR, the weekend after that is Atlanta. Actually, NASCAR this past Tuesday was at COTA, Circuit of the Americas. Testing, which I thought was pretty cool. Gator Nationals, the first drag race of the year, is next weekend in Florida. And then Formula One racing doesn't start until the 28th of March.
Well, I got a couple of additions onto that. Houston Motorsports Park is going to have its first local race of the season, including Pro Truck, Pro Mod, Outlaw, Pro Stock, Super Stock, Legacy, Eco Stocks, and NASCAR. It's April 3rd. Mark your calendar. It's a Saturday night, and I'm sure that racing will get underway 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. We'll give you more than that as it gets closer. Also, tickets went on sale this week for the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil, and that's going to be the weekend of May 21st. We will be broadcasting from there on May the 22nd, so plan on that. Time now for this hour's car review. The pre-owned car of the week. Mr. Zekin has a look at the 2017 Buick Regal. Buick Regal.
Actually, that's not very far off on the original pronunciation. It's actually Buik. So we'll get into that. It's a 2017 Buick Regal. You have the trim levels of GS, Premium, Sport Touring, and Touring GS, and, of course, just a four-door sedan, which we will be reviewing. And there's a picture of it right there in its glorious red. It is a 5-passenger vehicle. Exterior features, you've got some simple stuff, and they're all pretty much across the line of the manufacturers, where you got the turn signal mirrors, you got the 18-inch wheels, painted alloy slotted rims, you've got the Euro body styling, fog lamps, gated grille, and so on. So in this particular one, it has a sunroof in it. It's a good-looking vehicle. Growing up, it was always the old man vehicle that you would hear about, and it was always be the sandy brown color and beige interior. Love it.
Of course you do.
Because I'm that guy.
Yeah.
Interior highlights would be the full complement of airbags, obviously through the entire cabin. We talked about turn signal mirrors, USB connections, 7-speaker IntelliLink radio nav, which is very cool. And there we go with just a standard General Motors or across the manufacturer board pod on this. Heated mirrors and so on. Moving on to the engine side of it. It's a 2-liter turbo. It's an inline 4-cylinder, 16-valve dual overhead cam. You've got the 259 horsepower at 5,300 RPM. The torque is 295 foot-pounds of torque at 3,000.
Pretty peppy.
Yeah. It's a 6-speed, short throw transmission. I don't really have a whole lot to know. It's called a short variable is what it's called. 6-speed.
Yeah, it's an automatic.
Yeah, it's an automatic. Miles per gallon in the city is 21. Highway is 29.
Oh, God, here we go with the...
Combined, hold that shot, Mike. Combined is 24. Premium gas is recommended for it. Stability control.
Nobody does that.
I know, recommended, yeah, exactly. The vehicle ranges from $18,496 to $24,790.
Used?
pre-owned, depending on miles.
Wow.
Depending on miles. But the new ones back when you would buy it new back in 2017, the new ones started at 25.
I was going to say
the base model. And these are
Seriously,
base.
I didn't know that they were that cheap.
They hold pretty good value. They hold pretty good
Really?
value on that, yeah.
It's a Buick thing.
Yeah, it's a 4-year, 50,000-mile warranty, 10 exterior colors, 3 interior colors, and what you're seeing there are the logos.
Yeah.
With all
Logos.
the
There's no
3
handshakes
years.
on that
no
one.
handshakes on that, but the first one, it's kind of weird. It's supposed to be a gentleman with a cane dragging something, and they didn't really explain what he was dragging. But this is the history by the dates
leg.
of the logos, and the first came in 1903, 1905. Then Buick around the 1930s decided they were going to use the coat of arms for the family, which is the Buick family, and it's actually spelled B-U-I-K instead of B-U-I-C-K. So there was a family change there.
I see.
Yeah.
Where's the R? There's supposed to be an R in there somewhere. Buick.
That's yeah.
B-U-R-I-C-K.
There you go.
Buick.
But anyways, it was designed in a terracotta color, white, blue, the checker stripe, upper and lower right corners, and then you had the family crest that you see in 4 of the shots there, and then moving on up to the present where it actually combines heritage and modern elegance into the
See, the
Buick
first one that I remember, my grandfather had, I don't know, probably a 49 Buick, that big red one down there.
Right.
Yeah, and I remember that. I do not remember, what is that, a bird, a rabbit? What is that?
It's
No,
actually supposed to be an eagle.
An eagle, yeah.
Yeah.
75, 76, that was the logo they also put on the Indy pace car.
Yeah,
Right. And,
what was up with that?
Of course, the one above it with 1942 to 1947, there's actually a moose. That's a moose.
Moose.
In that, yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, it is not.
It is. There's a moose in there.
Get out of here.
It's supposed to be a moose.
Let me hear the moose.
Moose?
Let me hear it. Let me hear what it sounds like.
Multiples. He's bugling.
No, it's Buick. Buick.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
And we're going to handshake on that. And
All right. Well,
you go.
thank you very much, Jeffrey. We really appreciate that. Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available throughout the week on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, TuneIn, Google Podcast, Pandora, Amazon, and Podcast Addict. In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, March 20th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto-mods, all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off at a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, March 20th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, March 20th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin in the corner where he belongs. Yep. Don Armstrong here. So glad that you could join us on this. Well, it's a beautiful Saturday here in Houston, Texas.
Beautiful?
Beautiful. It's Burek. Burek beautiful. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Bugle.
And a moose bugle.
Moose bugle with the chrome.
I'm sure that there's a name for whatever it is, that sound that the moose makes.
I know on elk they call it bugling.
Well, the bugle is actually number 2.
How would you know? Have you?
Because I've got friends who've killed elk.
Killed elk.
Well, you go hunting elk.
Yeah, because if you don't kill it, it's going to kill
man,
you.
They are mean.
They're angry.
They are mean.
Cadillac was number 1. Buick was number 2. And who was number 3?
In what?
The ranking in General Motors back in the day? Oldsmobile. Close third.
We're not going to go there because Oldsmobile was the number 1 car seller for 10 years in a row.
Not
back in the Cutlass days?
70s and 80s.
Yeah, the Cutlass.
No, that was 70s, 80s back, but we're talking that.
The logo.
Oh, get over it.
Get over it, yeah.
Okay.
We got a guest.
All right. We do have a guest, and we are proud.
Wow.
Here, you want to start over? Let's just do that.
From the 8 o'clock hour.
From the 8 o'clock hour.
We're not even drinking yet.
You're not. I am.
I should be.
Yeah. And somebody that's not, we're glad to say, is Dylan Fenley, and he's the owner of the King Crunch Monster Truck. And he's talking to us today from Mayhem Monster Truck Show in Lufkin, Texas. And Dylan, it's good to see you, my friend. Your beard's looking good.
I try.
Yeah. Well, I guess you're talking to us on your cell phone. Is that what it is?
Yeah. I'm not too up on this technology stuff, so I'll try to wing it, and we'll try to get through it.
All right. Well, apparently you're up on the wheel on that monster truck. How do you get in a monster truck?
Carefully.
I'm actually right by mine right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's got this kind of space up under here where you kind of climb. You just put your feet and you crawl up on in, and you're able to get up in here.
Climb on up in there. Yeah. Are you gonna give us a little tour of the inside of that thing? I've never seen the inside of a monster truck. Get up on in there. We'd love to see that.
Let me climb up in here.
Yeah.
So, and the body's all fiberglass, correct?
Yep, fully fiberglass. This particular body's a 82 square body.
Okay.
So this is my personal truck that I drive normally.
So I'm looking at the steering wheel that seems to be hanging below the steering column.
Steering wheel comes off, of course, so when we flip or whatever, we can take it off. It just goes on, quick connect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gauges, of course.
Wait a minute. There's only 3 gauges there. I assume that there's no miles per hour on there. What are the gauges?
You just got your water temp for the motor, oil pressure, and then voltage, which I never hardly look at any of them, So
as long as it's running and you got your foot in it, it's good to go.
Exactly. But full containment seats from Butler seats. It's just full NASCAR style seats. It's kind of tight in here, so I can't really zoom out.
That's okay.
Full containment seats, 7-way harness belts, from Simpson and everything like that. They strap you in pretty good. But full containment around your head and everything. You squeeze your head in here.
So
from bouncing around.
Do you guys use the Hans device as well?
Yep. Yes, sir. Hans, there's a couple different other ones, but yeah, hybrid is what I actually run, but same family,
Have you ever rolled this truck?
Actually, I've been pretty good in this one. I've only rolled it twice.
Yeah.
Only twice, yeah.
And you're not trying to roll the thing, obviously, because, it costs you lots of money when you roll it, right?
Oh, yeah, a couple thousand every time normally.
Yeah.
I noticed you had a camera or something.
It costs money, just running it and then not really breaking nothing, but.
Jeff said he noticed a camera in there. Do you have a camera in there?
Or a screen of some sort to the right?
Right here. Yeah, that's how I turn it on.
Oh, that's how you started.
Yeah, hang on. They turn the main power off. Cody, turn the power on in the back.
Got to flip the switch outside to turn it on inside, huh? And
Yeah, so there's a switch outside. So if we flip when they run over to us or whatever, they can flip it off and turn that all power to the truck off.
Oh, okay. So it's a safety thing, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
And you run an alcohol injected blown motor, is that correct?
Yep. This particular motor's a 585 big block Chevy. But yeah, so he flipped it. So
it looks like he's in an arena.
Yep. Yeah, we're in Lufkin right now at the Angelina Expo.
And so, what have you got a show there tonight?
Yes, sir. Yep,
Yeah.
Show tonight. We do a pit party so kiddos can get autographs and pictures and stuff for the trucks, and everything like that. And then shows at 7:30. So it's not too bad.
How many trucks are there?
There's 5 here.
Okay.
5 trucks. Okay.
I bet you it's pretty loud inside when you guys light them up, even one at a time.
Most of these trucks have like exhaust or like mufflers and stuff. There's a truck right over there, the white one. He's got full zoomies. So there ain't no muffler, no nothing. It is loud. It hurts my ears.
Yeah.
But anyway, you got your power turns on. My truck's the only one that runs a computer like this, just because it's newer technology. This is a newer truck, but you just turn your fuel on, and then you would just start it. And then everything else, your water, lights, whatever else you want. You can go to your dash when I'm running. I don't know if it's probably too bright, but
no, we can see it.
We can see it now. Yeah.
Nice.
oil pressure, RPMs, and stuff like that. Which so it's just kind of digital, newer technology style,
So is that data that you're looking at on screen when the truck's running, is that also transmitted to somebody in the pit area, or is it all just self-contained on the truck?
You can run EFI. There's a couple of guys running EFI from the trucks now. But yeah, I mean, you definitely can. You can plug it in and see the data, see what it's doing and stuff like that. I don't have it. I'm not that particular. I don't get that technical with it or anything. So
once you set the tune, just drive it, right?
Yeah. Well, all of ours, like our injection hats and stuff like that, are all by fuel.
Right.
So once we go up north, like Oregon, Nebraska, stuff like that, we'll just swap out a peel. And then it's just like the amount of fuel that goes through, your injection hat and stuff like that.
All altitude, somewhat altitude based, but you don't have to fine tune the engine for ambient air quality today like you would at an NHRA event where the alcohol cars are running, where they've got to make those adjustments just based on the track itself.
We're not that technical. It's one of those things that, I've ran up north and just left the bill. It's kind of sluggish or whatever, but one show I forgot to do it, and how I got through it, and I still think I won. So,
so what do you estimate the output of your engine to be?
This one's probably about 1650, maybe 1600 horsepower.
And how many shows will you get out of that motor?
It goes by kind of hours. Let me turn all this off. Let me hop out.
All right, we'll wait for you to hop out. Yeah, I got lots of questions too.
I got one too. Yeah.
We're all kind of lined up, ready with the microphone to ask you everything that you probably have heard 1,000 times, but I know nothing about these things.
We're like a bunch of 7-year-old boys.
Pretty much.
Man, that's a cool truck.
Or girls.
I run hour meters on here, so.
So how many hours do you get on a motor?
Normally about 40. You want to take it out.
Oh wow.
Well, that's a lot. So at a show like you've got tonight, what will you run it? Probably 30 minutes?
No, actual run time. You're probably talking 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes. So you only do one run?
No, you do several runs. You do wheelies, stuff like that, but you're only out there like two minutes at a time.
I got you.
Okay.
You do intros. That's maybe like 2 laps. You shut off. You do wheelies. That's 2 hits. So it's not like a lot of time. Not like you're sitting out there just running and running and running.
Yeah.
So So the engine. I run a different injection hat than really anybody. It's supposed to be like a big horsepower injection. Me and there's another driver. Actually, he's the world champ right now in racing, so he runs it. It's supposed to be for bigger motors, bigger power, but 871 blower from Littlefield. Some pretty cool valve covers.
Yeah, we noticed that. How that engine? Have you ever blown one up? I mean, how much does an engine cost?
This one I got last year, so this one's fairly new, obviously, with the hours. It was, just to rebuild it, it was like 17, I think it was.
17,000, yeah.
Who built the truck?
A new one, all, top to bottom, injection hat, everything. You're probably 34-ish.
$34,000.
So, yeah, it's not a great deal.
Did you build the truck, or did you have help with it, or someone else?
So this one I built. Actually, both of mine I built,
Is there a builder like a Jerry Haas that builds these chassis?
Oh, yeah, there's several of them, and several people build you one and stuff like that. But, crazy exhaust.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
Had a kid freaking make these. These things are pretty loud, but they're pretty neat. Some more coatings on them from IA Coatings there in Houston.
How fun.
Yeah, they do all the kind of designs and stuff like that.
When stuff breaks on the chassis, what typically breaks?
Shoot, man, there's all kinds of stuff. Shocks, you'll break a Heim down here if you hit a hard hit. These are the axles. So these are like the knuckles right here. You got a champagne. If that breaks, it takes everything else with it. The champagne itself's $400, but it's going to take $3,000 or $4,000 with it.
So basically, it breaks your bank account.
Yeah. So 26-inch travel, inch shocks on the front, 30-inch travel on the rear.
And tell me about the tires now. Clearly, somebody makes tires that are like that, or did you actually put the tread on there yourself?
Nope, these are actually built for monster trucks. Actually, a friend of mine, Brandon, in New Orleans, he got with a company in China. He designed these over 10 years ago. Not too bad. They're kind of slick. They don't have much groove on them. It's only 3/4 an inch maybe.
Yeah.
These are built just for monster trucks. Over here on Nitro Menace, these are Goodyears. Goodyears, and you can cut and groove them, however you want. As you can see, different pattern. The problem is Goodyear quit making them in like 89.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, at the 89, you mean the tires last that long, or do they retread them?
No, they'll last.
Oh, okay. I have no clue, man. So I know I'm asking stupid questions.
You're good. I mean, we punch holes in them and stuff like that, and then we'll patch them. See how this tire's totally grooved different than his other one.
Right.
It's all end grooved.
Now, do you use beadlock wheels on there, or are they just free?
He does not. I don't. I think Tim has it on his truck. Let me go over here.
So the evolution of the monster truck over the early days of Bigfoot back in the 70s really has been more like the evolution of the NASCAR profile, because back in the early days, weren't a lot of them were kind of built around a tank chassis?
Yeah.
And now you guys are lightweight, chrome moly frames,
it's definitely changed. We've actually probably gotten heavier just because we jump bigger now, and this is Tim's truck, Twisted Addiction. He has full bead locks, all the way around. He runs Goodyears too. As you can see, they're cut even different from Darren's truck. He runs coilovers on his truck, so everybody's got their own little setup and how they run their trucks and stuff.
But you talk about these guys by first name, so y'all pretty well know each other, and don't mind sharing secrets, I guess.
Oh no, actually, I just went. This is my other truck here, Nitro Hornet. I just went and stole some parts out of Tim's trailer. And,
we won't tell him.
Everybody's family here, and he just, of course, he told me to take whatever I want, and that's kind of how we all are,
And all of them have a rear steer functionality.
Yep, every truck has rear steer. See, this is a different style tire. This is a Ukraine tire that the country of Ukraine used to make, that they don't even make anymore. And I have beadlocks on this truck.
I want to ask you. I want to ask you a little bit more about the steering. Can you control the actual rear steer on it? You can either turn it on or off or adjust it.
Yep. So you got a self-center. It brings it back, self-centered and everything like that.
And this is why you're running in competition, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So actually, I should have showed you that when I was in the truck, but that's okay. Actually a toggle. It's a handle with a toggle.
Yeah.
And then you'll have another one in front. So you kind of got to do this motion, and then you're getting banged around and you're shifting, and that's a lot going.
I was just you're busy in there. It's not as if you're just running the steering wheel.
Oh no, you're correcting with the front steering wheel. You're driving. You only drive with one hand. Your left hand's on the steering wheel. Your right one's on the rear steer, and shifting.
So how do you eat the hamburger at the same time?
Exactly. Here, put your makeup on.
Yeah. What do you do with the beer?
Yeah. No. But I want to ask you, how is your vertebrae? I mean, with those jumps, I mean that's got to be a huge jar to you sitting in that seat.
It is. That's actually why I'm not driving this weekend. I'm having some issues on my back right now, actually. So,
how do we get Don in there?
No, I'm good. Thank you very much.
Well, your back problem is relatively common in your industry, isn't it?
Actually, yeah. I was just talking to Darren, the owner of that Nitro Menace, and he has a collapsed disc. The white truck, Tim. I was talking to him last weekend. He has 4 discs infused and wired together and everything. And because we were having that discussion if I were to have surgery, if I could drive again or whatever. And he's like, well, heck yeah. He said, my back's all wired together and everything,
And so, through time, have people not really tried to develop a driving position where it's less stress on your back? I know that years ago there was somebody actually stood up inside their truck. Is that correct?
Yep, Frank's committee. He tried that years ago.
Apparently, it didn't work.
My phone's already almost dead for the day. So I came in the office to charge it. Sorry.
That's all right. Well, we're almost done with you anyway. But so, what are you looking forward to tonight? How many runs are you going to make in the show?
How many what?
Runs. How many times are you going to run through?
Yeah, we start off. We're off. Let me get here. Sorry, not light. We're very family based. We try. Our ticket prices are very reasonable for family. There's a bigger company, like that comes to Houston and stuff like that does like the big, NRG Stadium and stuff. But their tickets $65 a person. Yeah, there's more trucks. Yeah, this and that, but $65 a ticket. That's what, $20 to park at NRG. Pit party, they charge $15 a person, and it just, say a family of 4, they're spending $450, $500.
Wow.
And it's hard,
Yeah.
So here at Mayhem Monster Trucks, we try to focus on a family of 4 spending $150. That includes tickets, getting food, and 2 merch items for like the kiddos.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
And I assume
reasonable.
that you're going to sell out tonight, huh?
No, we won't sell out. This arena is actually pretty big. It holds 6,000.
Oh, okay.
We won't get close to that here in Lufkin, we'll fairly, hopefully have about 1,500, maybe 2,000 people.
Well, that's significant.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And so where do you head next week after this show this weekend?
Next week, my trucks go to San Antonio. I have a show I'm putting on in Moulton, Alabama. So I'll be going to that. Me and my show coordinator, and we're going to take my ride truck. So we'll go up there and run that show and handle all that. And I'm sending my trucks to San Antonio.
So you own the trucks, you drive the trucks, and you're also a promoter.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we need to get back in touch with you again because we want to talk to you more about this and maybe have a competitor there with you and hear you two guys go back and forth. But it's great to talk to you, Dylan. We thank you so much for joining us today. It's the Mayhem Monster Truck Show, and I guess you can find that circuit online, correct?
Yeah, tickets for tonight's left in monstertrucks.com, but the actual tour and everything like that's mayhemmonstertrucks.com,
Mayhem Monster. Okay.
Yeah, I think we got like 10 shows planned for this year, kind of all over the country, some Texas,
Well, I guarantee you we're cheering for the King Crunch Monster Truck. You got our support.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you very much, and it's great to talk to you. And by the way, I want to thank all of our viewers and our listeners. We'd love to hear from you, and if you ever want to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. What are we going to talk about today?
Going to talk about octane and fuel.
Octane, let's do it.
And the reason, people think, all the various grades of fuel that are out there, you've got regular, mid-grade, premium grade. Everybody thinks that premium is necessarily better than regular unleaded. It's just not necessarily true in most cases. Some fuel manufacturers do put more detergents in their premium fuel. You look at Shell and they have all these detergents that are in their V-Power, but other gasolines, to put a gasoline on the market, it has to have a certain amount of deposit cleaning agents in the fuel itself by law. And, whether it's in the base fuel, the mid-grade, or in the premium. And when you look at your price difference of all of these fuels right now, you're talking, years ago, the base fuel to the premium fuel might have been 30 cents a gallon. Now you're talking about $1 a gallon difference from 87 octane to 93 octane. So the value of putting 93 octane in your vehicle, if it's not required, isn't worth spending that extra money.
Yeah, so you got to look at that.
What is the actual cleaner they put in? I mean, what is it?
Well,
it's another chemical?
Yeah, it's a chemical. It's nitrogen based. It's either a polybutanamine or a polyetheramine that they use in it to add that cleaning. Now, Chevron and their Techron product is a polyetheramine. But those octane numbers, what does it really mean? Octane, all it does is control the speed at which the flame happens on top of the piston. So it controls octane. The higher the octane rating, controls spark knock.
So a quicker ignition process.
A more controlled ignition process. Quicker can be a problem because
the combustion of the fuel, not necessarily the electronics.
Well, yeah, but you want to make sure you can control how that happens, because if you've got some carbon buildup inside the combustion chamber and it sits there and it glows red and you spray the fuel in, that could theoretically ignite the fuel, and then you get basically two flame fronts on top of the piston.
So premature detonation.
That's what causes the pre-ignition, spark knock, detonation. The British called it pinking or premature, whatever you want to call it. Detonation. You're going with that. But there's no need for you to use a premium fuel if your vehicle doesn't designate it. You can look in the owner's manual to figure out what it requires. And if 87 octane is all it requires, just run 87 octane. The value of going to those higher priced fuels doesn't give you a return on that investment in the short run or even in the long run.
I do run premium in the Corvette.
Well, but if you're in the Corvette, may actually call for premium.
It does.
Yeah.
But I don't. In the cars that I get, the press cars that I get, I don't run premium when they called for it, and the car goes down the road just fine.
And it will.
And it will, because the computer in the car is going to compensate for the premature detonation problems that can happen. Because the spark knock, the detonation that happens, the computer sees that and starts retarding the ignition timing and adding fuel. So when that happens, all of a sudden the power, performance, and economy falls off of the vehicle because you're running a lower octane fuel.
You got spark knock or run on, whatever you call that. I remember that back in the 70s. What's that cause? Is that timing?
The run-on is because when the fuel gets in the combustion chamber, there's a carbon chunk in there, or a compression is igniting the fuel. So that run-on, you can turn the ignition system off, and it'll continue to chugga.
They don't find too many cars that do that.
No. Computers take care of that. But
mainly because the fuel is shut off from the fuel injection system. Run-on was typically in a carburetor, as long as you're drawing air through a carburetor.
Pulling it through there.
Pulling fuel through.
So one of the questions, and I have the same question real quick. If the car has been setting up for a while, is there any value? Used to we go put some premium fuel in it to up the octane because the car's been set up for, let's say, a month?
No.
You need to go get an additive?
Yeah, well, I work for BG
Well,
Products.
no, but the question was specifically, should they put an additive in?
Is this going to go on for a long time?
Well, we could make it.
You putting an additive in is going to help clean those carbon buildups that happen in the inside the engine.
Who knows how to read a clock? Does anybody?
It's 55. You told me I had to shut up at 20. That was 35 minutes ago.
I told you 2 minutes ago to shut up now. How was that?
Oh,
I missed it.
I missed
Apparently
it.
you did.
But anyhow, so don't run premium fuel if you don't need to. It's a waste of money. Run 44K instead. You're up, Don.
No, just go ahead.
I got to be at dinner at 5 o'clock, all right?
Well, I was going to do news headlines, but we don't have time for that. But I'm going to tell you a couple of things that are going on to set your calendars and your clocks for April the 3rd, Houston Motorsports Park. It's the first race of the season out there. We know that you'll want to go to that. I know I will. And tickets are on sale now for the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil out at Houston Raceway Park. And that's going to be May 21st through the 23rd. Buy your tickets today. Be there or be square. All right. We've got more of the In Wheel Time Car Show right after a very quick break. Stay with us.
Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, March 20th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods, all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise in, Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, March 20th, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In Wheel Time Car Show will be there too. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise in, March 20th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting. Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. If you're in charge of your company's small, medium, or large business anywhere in the U.S., let the On Hold Company help you retain customers and promote your business on your telephone system. Promote special sales or company info when placed on hold. The On Hold Company provides custom on-hold messages with professional male or female voices, licensed background music with no long-term contract, no monthly recurring bill, and updates your messages as needed. Call the On Hold Company at 713-223-HOLD or go to onhold.net.
Well, you know what that means. That's it for this episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. Hey, when you're on Facebook, please give us a like. Tell your friends about us and share our junk, if you will, please. We like for it to be shared. All giving and all knowing.
Worldwide.
You'll get Conrad's unicorn hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on Pandora, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict, to name just a few. Special thanks to all of our guests today. Great bunch. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Our video sales and marketing man is Jeffrey Zekin. This week's In Real Time Car Show is produced and directed by Milk Drop Mo. For booking agent and podcast man Mike Out of This World Mars and his royalty, King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong saying so long for now. And we hope you'll join us again for our next live show next Saturday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network.